Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. John Tortorella leading a team to the Stanley Cup final was not expected in 2026. Torts was hired by the Golden Knights on March 29th on an interim basis. Las Vegas went on a 19-4-1 run that culminated last night in a 2-1 win over the Avalanche in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Vegas gets the sweep and will play for the Stanley Cup for the first time since 2023. They'll await the winner in the East. Carolina leads Montreal 2-1. Canadians will host Game 4 tonight at 8. In the NBA last night, the Thunder took a 3-2 lead on the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals with a 127-114 win in Game 5. San Antonio will host Game 6 on Thursday. In baseball last night, the Reds beat the Mets 7-2 in New York. The Guardians fell to the Nationals 6-3 in Cleveland. ESPN reported this morning that Cleveland native and Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce purchased a minority stake in the Guardians. This update is sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Try UDF's new ice cream quake flavors for summer, only for a limited time.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's start live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. We'll get into a little higher, lower coming up at 10 o'clock. Bill Bender at 10:30. SEC meetings ongoing. Kirby Smart saying the quiet part out loud. We'll have a little fun with that. Hey, guys, coming up at 11 o'clock. Get your questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. You can also do so in the YouTube chat. We can take those live. Shelley time coming up at 11:30 on John Tortorella and Vegas advancing to play for Lord Stanley in the NHL playoffs in general, do a little World Championships. Jackets coaching conversation as well. And, of course, officially endorsed coming your way at 11:48. I think sophomore, junior year of college, I dated a lovely girl. No names, please. Lovely girl. Probably the first girl that I would say I suppose truly loved, I guess, if we're looking for the definition of that. We were together well over a year, about a year and a half, something like that. And you're dumb when you're 20. So you're like, I don't know, I might be able to marry this girl. We might be able to get married. Like, this might just work. I mean, like, why not? Like, let's plan the life. Let's get it going. And so, we were having those type of conversations that stupid 20, 21-year-old kids have. The inevitable breakup happened in the most spectacular fashion at a family dinner. I hesitate to give the details of it, but it involved questioning my religious faith and if people were lost. And Mom asked me if I found Christ, and I said I didn't know he's lost. And that was kind of the end of it there. So it went out pretty bad, kind of flamed out. And that was it. That was the end of that relationship. So why am I telling you all this? Well, what I'm telling you all this is at the end of that relationship, I devised a strategy for dating for the rest of my life that I followed until I married the lovely bride. And the policy was as follows. It was a 3-month policy. And in my head, as a 21-year-old, I thought, if by the end of 3 months, I can't say I can see myself with this person long term, I would break it off. That's it. And the thinking being, the thinking behind this was that if by 3 months you can get to all the warts, like 3 months of exclusive dating, you can get to all the warts. And then you can make the decision of, can I live with these warts and can she live with mine and can this work? So I followed this by the book to the letter of my law until I met my wife. So this strategy lasted from 21 and so until, like 8 years. I went before another girl got over 3 months. Other than I would just break up with them at 3 months. That's it. We're on to the next. Because the whole thing was I'm not wasting time on this thing. So that was a strategy that a 21-year-old boy put together on a dating strategy that was going to serve theoretically for the rest of his life. And for me, it did work. Run with it if you'd like. Brendan Sorsby entered the NCAA transfer portal on December 15th of 2025. He signed with Texas Tech on January 6th. That's not even a month. Did they get married? Yeah. In football terms, they got married in 3 weeks. What did they know about Brendan Sorsby? Not much. How could you? It's 3 weeks. How could you possibly know? They saw the talent. And by the way, there were plenty of talents that you had to make tough decisions on in 3 months. They saw the talent, and they said, we'll make it work. And they didn't properly vet. How could they? It's not enough time. They didn't even know the kid. They didn't know the warts. They didn't know any of it. They gave him $6 million or thereabouts, reportedly, and they made him a Texas Tech Red Raider. And in football terms, they married him, and they knew him for 3 months. Think about the 3 months, 3 weeks. There are kids right now that NBC has competed with in football and basketball who have been offered scholarships to MAC schools. These are 8th graders going on 9th graders, meaning college coaches know who they are as 14-year-olds. At Ohio State, it's a little different because you can be a little bit choosier. But by the time you're a sophomore at Ohio State, if you're a dude, you've probably been offered. That means that if you are a 5-star linebacker, and Threes gets all the 5-star linebackers, but if you're a 5-star linebacker, James Laurinaitis knows who you are by the time you're probably 14 or 15. He knows by the time you're 16 if he wants to offer you, and then he's got about 3 years to really get to know you and to sell you on him and you on him and him on you. That's a 3-year process, minimum, at a place like Ohio State. 3 years to get to know somebody. The family, the warts, all of it. They had 3 weeks, and they got burned about as big as you can get burned. Biggest possible way. And we'll get to what's all going to happen with all of this. But this here should be a warning sign to everybody in all of this. I don't believe that it will be because I don't think good things are going to happen common sense-wise in this sport for a while. I think we're a long ways from that. But it should be a warning sign of how tricky this can all be. This is the first one of these that's bounced back in a big way. And this is the biggest way. This was the number one quarterback in the portal. And it bounced back in a big way. Because they didn't even have 3 months. They did this in 3 weeks. And I do think others will take notice of this, fellas.
You hope so. Because this is the one where I think bucks the trend. Because everybody else thinks, oh, no, we got our guy and we can win a national championship. C1 Indiana. Miami played for a national championship with a shotgun marriage quarterback. LSU's going to do it with Sam, or try to do it, I guess, with Sam Leavitt. Miami's going to try to do it again with Duke's quarterback. I mean, this is just what everybody's trying to pivot to in college football. And it's one of those things, among the many things within the sport, where you sit back as an Ohio State fan and say, boy, I'm glad for what we've got. Well, you had Will Howard in kind of a shotgun because he wasn't the quarterback that Ohio State wanted initially, but he was the one that they landed with. They have Julian Sain. And hopefully that succession goes to Tavian St. Clair, and you get a guy and keep a guy within your program where you can develop him. And you can form a relationship over a couple of years that can really blossom in a national championship. Everybody else is trying the other way. And yeah, for Texas Tech and for all the money they were throwing around for free agents and mercenaries, this failed about as big as you could possibly see. We'll have a little quarterback rankings in college football with higher or lower. And these quarterback rankings were picked before the Sorsby stuff came out. And it'll give you kind of a better sense of just how this is going to affect not only Texas Tech, but the Big 12. Because Sorsby's likely next destination to play football, the NFL.
Bo, I want to go back to this dinner. Was that like Finding Waldo?
They were lovely people. Lovely people. But I was raised Presbyterian. Like, I went to church. I did Sunday school. Like, I felt like, I don't need to reaffirm. I know where he is. Like, I believe, I go, I do all these things. They just were a little bit more aggressive they wanted me to be a part of their operation, and I probably should have if I was going to marry the girl, to be fair. But the question, I just had been dealing with it for months and months, and it was just like, okay, enough. I mean, I remember, it was, I don't want to get into too much of it, but it was just so much. And I was just like, that broke me. There was one phone call afterwards that ended in like 30 seconds, and then I never talked to her again.
It's so funny, your 3-month thing.
Yeah.
Because I always had this philosophy that when you had a new relationship, somewhere between 2 and 4 months, you had your first issue. Whether that be an argument, a disagreement, whatever it was. And that was an easy spot to cut bait if you didn't see it going for a long term. So it's funny that you said 3 months. I always thought 2 to 4 months. That first issue, if you didn't think it was going anywhere, an easy way to get the heck out. So
I think 3 months felt like you're going to have the first fight by then. Mm-hmm. Something's going to happen, and then it's like, well, can I live with this? And that was kind of the none did until the blonde. That was the next one.
I know it's fast, as you talk about. He entered the transfer portal on the 15th of December. Mm-hmm. He signed with them on January 6th. I'm still not convinced Texas Tech didn't know. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm guessing if
Cincinnati knew, right?
I don't know if I can get there.
I think everybody knew, quite frankly. I think Indiana knew. I think they all knew. I think all these guys know everything. They just may stick their head in the sand, or they may not want to know. But I think they all know. Now, maybe not. Maybe I just think Texas Tech didn't care. The risk, the reward outweighed the risk. Unfortunately, it got them. But
maybe they did, and then shame on them. Shame on them either way. Shame on the system either way. That you have a situation where you're handing the keys to a football Ferrari that Texas Tech now is to somebody that you know for 3 weeks. That is not how this thing ought to work, and this is the first time where somebody got bit. Now, what happens with him is going to be interesting because you made the hypothesis that Indiana knew, that Cincinnati know. Guess who will know? The National Football League knows, and so much so that if you have your phone and you are placing a bet in the facility, you are done. Ask Jameson Williams. Ask him about that. That's what he's walking into, and how that is all viewed is something we're going to get into coming up next. Off and running on a First Friday, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Sun, splashes, and nonstop fun await at Zoombezi Bay.
Get your season pass for unlimited thrills,
including our all-new conservation tower. Buy now at ZoombeziBay.com.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no-closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
That's the sound of Ellie De La Cruz stealing third. That's the sound of you stealing third. Right now at UDF, buy any 2 bottled beverages and get the third one free. Any bottle, any flavor, anything you're thirsty for. Soda, energy, coffee, and more. Buy 2 bottled drinks, get the third free with Ellie Steals Third. Now at United Dairy Farmers. Some restrictions may apply.
Hey, Columbus, buy a new Ford at the same price of Ford employee pays. No markup, no haggling. Right now, at Capital Ford of Columbus, get employee pricing on F-150s, Super Duties, Explorers, Mustangs, and more. Thousands in savings. This deal ends soon. Come to Capital Ford today, priced for you.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. An AC tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Proudly serving Columbus homeowners for 90 years and counting. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the Fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Showers and storms on and off throughout the day today, otherwise cloudy skies with highs in the mid to upper 70s. For tonight will become partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 50s and a lot more sunshine in the forecast on Thursday as temperatures get in the mid to upper 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
This is all coming to a head with Brendan Sorsby, the former Cincinnati quarterback, for now Texas Tech quarterback, soon to be NFL quarterback, because yesterday the NCAA denied his request to be reinstated for the 2026 season. So Sorsby completed his 35-day inpatient rehab for gambling, so he got that done. The NCAA decision, which, by the way, we all predicted, I think pretty straightforward, which is in line with precedent, will put Sorsby's lawsuit against the NCAA seeking an injunction for his eligibility for 2026 into further focus. There's a court date apparently Monday in Lubbock County. Texas Tech, for now, is still with him. I'm sure that they are. This is the president. With these comments, we believe that given the facts and the context of Brendan's case, the NCAA's ruling should be reversed or modified as a generation of college athletes face the legalization and rapid proliferation of sports betting in our country. Gambling addiction is rising to the point of epidemic among college-aged men in particular. Kirby Hocutt, who's the athletic director at Texas Tech, saying we believe the right thing to do is not to ruin this young man's college career for something that happened 4 years ago. Actually, it happened a lot. Brendan Sorsby, he's a gambling addict, is what he did. I mean, according to some of this report, the stuff he's betting on, whether it's Korean baseball or Turkish basketball, I mean, it's a billion bets. So either he's just bored, a lot of low money bets. He certainly had an addiction to it, and there's no question about that. The NCAA is not going to bend on this, and the thing that's going to help them on this, I suppose, if they're looking for help on this, is just the timeline. This stuff takes forever to get through the court system. as soon as this stuff started to come out, we said here, there's zero chance he ever plays college football again. And by the way, I don't think that that's even what this is about. I think what Brendan Sorsby and his team are doing here is getting a change in eligibility designation on the record. What that allows for them to do is enter the supplemental NFL draft, which will be this summer. It's usually in July. They haven't had one since 2019. That he will now be eligible for the NFL supplemental draft. Now, where that's concerned, talking to some NFL folks about him, he's a first-round talent. He is a first-round talent. I was trying to think of a comp for him, and the name that kind of makes some sense to me, kind of on-field, off, all of it, is Jay Cutler. He's got a little Jay Cutler in him in terms of arm talent, escapability, throws 4 touchdowns, will throw 3 picks. Like he's got a little bit of Cutler. Cutler was an NFL quarterback for a decade, starting quarterback, and a pretty good one for a lot of that time. Whatever you think of him on the field, off, whatever, was a very nice NFL quarterback. If you believe he is a middle first-round talent, or even if you think he's a second-round talent, he is somebody that an NFL team is going to take a chance on, absolutely. My hunch is, so then the question becomes, well, what are you willing to give up in order to get him, rather? The other thing that I think is going to happen when he is supplementally drafted by the NFL, whichever team he ends up with, he's going to serve probably minimum a 4-game suspension. There's that precedent with Terrell Pryor. The NFL has done this before. So I think he's probably going to serve a 4-game suspension for the gambling, and then he'll be eligible to go. So then you say, okay, well, what teams fit in terms of who has the ability, who's got enough good stuff in the bank that they can take a gamble on something like this? So now I start thinking of, okay, programs who win a lot and will look at asset accumulation. The first one I thought of was Philly. Philadelphia makes all the sense in the world. Another one that makes all the sense in the world, if they didn't draft Ty Simpson, was actually the Rams. They're incredibly stable. They could have drafted him with a second-round supplemental pick, had him sit for 2 years behind Stafford, and eventually get that job, but they drafted Ty Simpson. There's another one in the AFC North that makes a ton of sense to me, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, that is kind of a no-brainer for them. They could use a supplemental second-round pick on him and have him sit for a year behind Aaron Rodgers if they like him more than Will and Drew Aller, and my hunch is they probably would. They could have him sit for a year and then potentially be their guy. So I've come around on the idea that the NFL won't give up a lot to get him. I don't think it'll be a 1, but I do think that there will be I wouldn't be surprised if there was a second-round supplemental pick used on him.
I was thinking 3 or 4 over the last couple of weeks, because this has all felt very procedural in Sorsby's path to the National Football League. Because once the story came out, the story on its face initially was like, there's no chance this guy ever plays. And then it got worse somehow with just his betting behavior and the idea, that he just completed gambling addiction treatment is great for him personally, because that's what this was. He was clearly addicted to this. And so now that if he can put this behind him and prove to an NFL team that he's worthy of a second-round pick, seems a little ambitious considering what's available in 2027. But for a team not looking to go in that direction, I mean, even the Los Angeles Rams, if they draft Ty Simpson this season, well, then they're probably not going QB next year. And if he's got a first-round grade on him and they gave Ty Simpson a first-round grade and you're only able to get, you're able to get 2 first-round graded quarterbacks with a 1 and a 2, okay, for future planning.
I think it'll be a 2.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a 2 for him. I think the NFL really likes him.
But the Steelers one's probably the best bet, because they could use as many competitive quarterbacks at camp as possible this season.
Yeah.
So, are we sure that Brennan Sorsby
We're not sure about anything with quarterbacks.
Talent?
It's a hard thing that's gotten harder.
What's that, Bake?
Are we sure he's a first-round talent? Like,
so
I don't know about that.
The folks I've talked to say yeah.
It's interesting because I understand he was at Cincinnati. He was at Indiana before that, but I feel like there's reasons he was at those schools and not a different school. The numbers aren't great. Like, his touchdown to interception actually isn't bad, but the yardage isn't really great. The completion percentage is 61%, which I don't think is great. Big games, He wasn't great the bigger games that they played. So I think it's interesting that he's a guy that we just, he's a first-round talent, doesn't matter. The other thing is talking about teams. I heard on T-Bone and Tyvis earlier this morning, Dylan bring up the Detroit Lions. And I thought that was interesting because, believe it or not, Goff's 10 years into this thing already.
Sure.
He's not getting any younger. Another team I thought of in the AFC North was the Baltimore Ravens. I know Lamar is there, and he's great, but if you can get a really quality backup for a below market price, that seems like a Baltimore Ravens type move. The other thing is, it seems like there's always issues with Lamar in Baltimore and contracts and all of that. So I wonder if there's ever a point where they'd be like, you know what? This is getting not worth it. And they would have a replacement waiting in the wings.
Honestly, like any team in the league, I don't think there's any scenario that it's a third. I think it's going to be a 2 because a third-round pick, I mean, how many third-round picks even hit? And just if you view it as like a lottery pick, like a third-round pick for a first-round talent, whatever you think of the on-field Bake, he was the number 1 quarterback in the portal. Like, he's the one everybody wanted. LSU wanted him more than they wanted Sam Leavitt. They wanted him number 1. So that's the way that college football viewed him in the portal. Now, you're right. Like, some of the stuff on the field might not be there, but there's a toolsy factor that he definitely has in terms of arm strength, mobility, all of those things. And I just think if you're an NFL team, I don't care if you have a quarterback, a young quarterback or not, if you're giving up a third in the supplemental, which is a third in 2027, is what it'll amount to, and in return, you get a first, by what people think is a borderline first line. Let's use borderline first round talent as our nomenclature here. Borderline first round talent. Well, what is that? That's an asset, buddy. That's a big time asset. And now all of a sudden you have trade where you're going to net stuff back the other way. So initially I wasn't sure what it would look like in the NFL, but I think as long as you have the understanding that there's going to be a suspension there, that's what this has all been about for him. I think he saw the writing on the wall on this. I'm sure that they're trying to land a Hail Mary at Texas Tech, and I'm sure his intent is, sure, ideally, I'd love to play for Texas Tech and make a bunch of money because he'd make more money doing that than he's going to be in a third-round supplemental pick or a second-round supplemental pick. So he's going to make more money playing at Texas Tech. So I'm sure that's his best intent. But now what changed so dramatically yesterday is now he has an official designation. His eligibility status has changed. Previously, he was kind of in limbo. He's not in limbo anymore. He's ineligible. That's the ruling. Now he can enter the supplemental draft if he wants to. So Texas Tech and him will fight a little while longer on this, and then this will get kicked down the road, and the supplemental draft will be a part of it. And my hunch is it's a 2 that nets him. And that's going to be a very fascinating thing when that takes place this summer. We haven't had a supplemental draft in 2019. We haven't had a quarterback taken in the supplemental draft since guess who? Guess when?
Was it Pryor?
Pryor.
Yep. Terrell Pryor, 2011. He was a third-round supplemental pick. So that was the last one. And TP was suspended by the NFL when he entered the league. So something to monitor. We'll talk about it with Bill Bender coming up at 10:30. Coming up next, an old buddy reaches the mountaintop again. We'll get into that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Welcome back to What Is That Thing? Today our guest is
Dr. Melvin Parsbrucker. I invented the sump pump.
Ah, the sump pump. I've heard Apex pros talk about those.
Yes, the pros who knows are true experts in sump pumpology.
So, Doctor, what is that thing?
You see, a sump pump is a device designed to pump out sump.
Sump?
For the pump.
You say the pumps?
Sump.
Sump. And what exactly is sump?
It's what gets pumped.
I want to be sure I'm hearing you right. Sump?
Sump.
And that's what gets
pumped. Look, maybe Apex Pros can explain it at your level.
Well, Apex Pros says some pumps are made to keep groundwater from accumulating and flooding your basement, especially this time of year with the big spring rains and the uniquely shallow water table in and around Franklin County. A simple sump pump can protect your home from tens of thousands of dollars in damage.
It's made to sump the pump.
Of course.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Want to win free Hothead burritos or bowls for a year? Play the Hothead Scratch and Win game, where every card is a guaranteed winner. Even a trip to the Caribbean could be yours. Get to Hothead Burritos during Cinco de Monto and scratch away.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? Sup with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
Well, he did it. I suppose it was pretty inevitable by the time we got to the game last night, certainly when they scored first. The pomp and circumstance was fun off the top, and you're trying to sell it. I thought the Avs fought, but in the end, they're just a little too banged up, and Golden Knights are on an absolute heater right now, and they put away the Avs 2-1 the final in the Western Conference Final, and so they will play for Lord Stanley's Cup. That means John Tortorella will play for his second Stanley Cup trophy. He will do so against the winner of Montreal or Carolina, Game 4 in that series tonight. I'm happy for Torts. I'm very happy for Torts. I liked the Avs a little bit as a kid. They were kind of regionally near us. Calgary Flames when I was little, and then when the Avs came in, they were easy to root for because they won right away when they brought him over from Quebec. It helps when you bring Sakic and Forsberg with them and make the trade for Waugh, and then away you go. The Golden Knights were an expansion team in 2017, and this is just an absurd amount of success for them very early in their tenure as they will attempt to win their second Stanley Cup. I can't root for them because of it, because of jealousy, quite simply, but the Torts factor does factor in for me a little bit in terms of just he's such a great dude. It's hard not to root for him, and so I suppose I'll be conflicted a little bit in a conference final. But they are on an absolute heater right now. By the way, yesterday we talked about Mitch Marner. I mentioned this yesterday on the show, like all of the heat he took in Toronto for not being clutch, all of these things, leading the NHL in playoff scoring. Our buddy Greg Wyshynski wrote a piece about it. It's a fascinating piece if you haven't read it, just about how Toronto is dealing with the fact that he's having all this success somewhere else, and the weight of that is now off him. I'll be rooting for Torts begrudgingly, I guess. I don't need to see this team win another cup, but it feels to me like they're going to. I know, Bake, you think the Eastern teams will push back pretty hard, but it feels to me like they're on a pretty big heater right now.
It was really, as a Blue Jackets fan, weird last night watching him and Bednar shake hands and have a little moment after the game, because when Torts got here, Jared Bednar was the coach of the Cleveland Monsters, then the Lake Erie Monsters, and in 2016 won a Calder Cup championship with a lot of guys we've seen in these playoffs this year. Josh Anderson, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Jonas Korpisalo with Boston. It was just really weird seeing the whatever, and we'll talk about this later, but you have the news from Porty that it sounds like the Blue Jackets will be promoting Trent Vogelhuber to Rick Bowness's staff from Cleveland. It's almost like watching that last night is, well, we let this one get away, and it's understandable. You had Torts at the time. He was kind of blocked from making his way up to be a head coach in Columbus, but I feel like it's almost 2.0 with Trent Vogelhuber, and the Jackets don't want to lose him, so they're promoting him to the NHL staff, and I would guess that is as a coach-in-waiting type deal. But like very, very cool for Torts, and who knows how this all ends, if they win the Cup or if they don't, if this is it for his time in Vegas or he continues moving on, but very, very cool, and I know that there's nobody in the world happier than they are right now.
If they win the Cup, and this feels like that's the direction you're going in, they have to bring him back for at least a couple of years, right? And I'm talking about Tortorella in Vegas.
If he wants. What if he doesn't want?
Well, they wouldn't want him. Yeah, I guess that has to be
who knows
the why.
what his why is. Yeah,
that would be a hell of a
67? How old's Torts?
Yeah, I believe so, and that'd be a heck of a way to go out.
Where if he gets hired, March 29th, and goes on the kind of run that he did, I want to say 19-4-1, wins a Stanley Cup, and then rides off into the sunset. Yeah, he's 67. Pretty good way to do it. Not many have a better ending to their professional story, or could ever script it better.
No, I mean, it's a staggering run that he's had, through these years. And so, he paratroops into this situation, and away they go, and now he can win his second cup. One with Tampa, of course, with Marty St. Louis, which would be crazy if he gets St. Louis in the final, if it's Montreal. I mean, LeCavalier and St. Louis with Tampa, that'd be crazy if it's Montreal in the final. All right, I want you guys to guess what is the fewest amount of points the Vegas Golden Knights have ever accumulated in a given season. Their first year in the league was 2017. I want you to give me the guess on the fewest number of points that they accumulated as a franchise.
97.
I almost want to say it's this year because they didn't have a ton of points this year. What did they, was it 89, 92, something like that this year?
95.
Oh, wow, they got to 95?
Yeah. So you're pretty close. Reese is a little high. The fewest points that the Vegas Golden Knights ever accumulated in a season was 94. Those are point totals. Year 1, 94. Year 2, 111, hoist Lord Stanley. Year 3, 98. Year 4, 110. Year 5 this year, 95, and playing for the Cup. You want to know why I'm bitter? That's why I'm bitter. That sucks, man. That really sucks. Do you know how many times the Columbus Blue Jackets in 25 seasons of hockey have accumulated 94 points or more?
Once.
I think it's like 7 times, maybe. Just 3.
3 times. 3 times. 108 is the record. That's in 16-17, and then 97 and 98 the next 2 seasons. That's the most that they've accumulated. These guys walk in to 94, win a cup, 98, 110, 95. You think the NHL, and by the way, from a business standpoint, pretty good job.
I mean, they set the table.
You're the first one in there. He knew you had to win. You got to win in order to grab that market by the throat. And they did. They gave them an incredibly talented roster. They won right away. And now they own the city. They 100% own Las Vegas. They own the fan base. I mean, you see this. Not just hadn't one of you guys been to one of their games?
I have not.
Was it you? I thought it was
I have
somebody
not.
Here at the station went to a Vegas Golden Knights game.
But they're going to open as probably as favorites, and they'll host any game that they host in the Stanley Cup Final is going to be a scene.
No, I mean, the juxtaposition of that, if it's them in Montreal, if somehow Montreal can win, the juxtaposition of the Canadians and Vegas and those two crowds, both absolutely bonkers.
Ridiculous.
Nuts.
Think of that, too, if it's Vegas versus Montreal from a Blue Jackets standpoint with all of the things there. And then you talk about how Vegas was set up. Remember the Blue Jackets traded a first-round pick to Vegas so they would take William Karlsson and not Josh Anderson.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to swallow. That amount of success that early, all of our connections to both of the operations, so many familiar faces everywhere. It's a tough one to swallow. And they basically crushed everything. They crushed the branding. They crushed the winning right away. They understood that if you win right away in a market like that, you can have success. Nobody ever did that before. I mean, you think about the 2 most recent expansion franchises in the state of Ohio. You think about the Cleveland Browns. They've just take the bottom barrel in the expansion draft. Bottom barrel players, right? They did get to pick number 1 overall, but anytime you pick a quarterback number 1 overall and you don't have anybody to protect him with, it's a disaster. Tim Couch could speak to that. David Carr could speak to that in Houston. Like, it's just an impossible situation. Think about us with the Blue Jackets, how long it took to be able to just be on. I mean, not from a support. The support's always been there, but just in terms of competitive teams, my God, it was a decade plus before he even made the postseason. I mean, these guys win the cup in year 2. That's how you set a market. And then they followed a similar path with the with Seattle, where they were good right away. So if you're trying to be good in a market with expansion, give them a competitive team right out of the gates, and the city will fall in love with them. And this is what's happened in Vegas. So on to the Cup. Happy for Torts, but that'll be an interesting one in the Cup final, especially if they get Montreal. There'd be a lot of local interest in that one. We'll get Jody's take on all of this coming up at 11:30. Could the King be returning to his roots? Among the topics of conversation next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued. Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loans and no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money, and the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Whether you're repping the orange and brown or shouting Hoo Day, the ultimate football pilgrimage is closer than you think. Ditch the living room, get the family on the road, and make the short drive to greatness and visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. From the backyard to the gridiron, it's the one place where every fan comes together to create new family memories. Make it a weekend to remember and see why Ohio truly is the heart of football. Visit ProFootballHof.com and plan your visit today.
Start your morning knowing anything is possible. Because if these guys are hosting a radio show, imagine the possibilities. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Your home for football, food, and fun. The Fan. All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
Hey, it's your Uncle Bo here. And when you've been around for a while like I have, you learn a few things. In fact, you might say that Bo knows a little bit about radio, a little bit about TV, a little bit about youth sports, but I don't know anything about pests and ants and termites or how to get rid of them. And so when I have something I don't know, and I got to know my limitations, and on this front I do, I turn to my friends at Rose Pest Solutions. Over 165 years of experience. Yeah, you heard that right. 165 years of experience. They've mastered their craft. As the nation's oldest family-owned pest control company, the pros from Rose protect Columbus homes, businesses, expert pest prevention, and treatment. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. That's 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. I think for some Cavaliers fan, LeBron James is a pest. For some. I know you're not one of them, Reese, and I certainly don't understand it. But for some people, he probably is. Well, there are whispers, because it's that time of year, that he could potentially want to return to Cleveland. Brian Windhorst, who knows more about LeBron than anybody, has been covering him since high school. This was on ESPN Cleveland, where this is from. In terms of the path, here is Brian Windhorst on what the path could be on a return to Cleveland.
You've already traded a guy in his mid-20s in Darius Garland away for a guy in his 30s in James Harden. That's a half measure. Go ahead and make the full measure and consider trading more of your young players, entering the sweepstakes for Giannis Antetokounmpo or other players. I know Giannis will be the first player, but if you're willing to touch your guys in your 20s who are your core players, if you're willing to touch the idea of Jared Allen, you're willing to touch the idea of Evan Mobley, there will be other options, and you explore that pathway. And, that pathway could lead you to LeBron James because, once you get out of the second apron, you open up the ability to make a sign and trade deal where you could trade something for LeBron.
Okay. I like how we're still talking about LeBron like he's like 32. But this one I think is interesting too. This is Wendy on, thanks to our friends at ESPN Cleveland, on LeBron not taking a pay cut.
I see people out there, not just Cleveland people, but people saying, oh, LeBron could sign with the Warriors, or LeBron could sign with the Heat, or LeBron could sign with the Cavs. This is not Aaron Rodgers, where you can wait, and then they've got $25 million in cap space just laying around. The Cavs today can sign LeBron for $3 million. He made 54 this year. Okay?
Yeah.
To my knowledge, LeBron is not prepared to take that type of pay cut. And you have to have the conversation. The Cavs, one of the core problems is that two of their best players can't defend. James Harden and Donovan Mitchell are guys that they attack in the playoffs. They cannot defend. So, if you were going to bring in a 42-year-old LeBron James, that's not going to solve that.
No, it's not. It's not at all. If Cleveland were to bring him back, it would be for the retirement tour. I don't see any scenario where they could put a team around him. They can't move James Harden. He's going to opt in. So if they do bring in LeBron and they want to build a team around him for a year, which I just think there's no scenario where Gilbert would do that, you're going to have to trade Donovan Mitchell. You can't play Mitchell, Harden, and LeBron all on the court at the same time. I mean, you would just be exposed every single time, every trip down. Would Cleveland fans want one more year with LeBron? I'm sure most of them would say no now, but I guarantee you if Ahmad said from St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio, LeBron James, if he did that, the people would go nuts. And he'd throw the chalk in the air and you'd sell 1,023 jerseys and all of those things would work. But if you're trying to win a title, I don't know that this gets you any closer. It's a hell of a story if he were to finish his career there. I think it is absolutely stupefying that he thinks he's going to make $54 million.
It's good to want things.
I don't understand that at all.
We talk about it all the time. People, overinflate just because that's where the negotiation starts. So I get it from LeBron's perspective. When I think it was Chris Fedor when he was on with us, is like he's not making less than Max Strus. Like there are guys coming off the bench that he's not making less than. I think for me it really starts with Donovan Mitchell because he's eligible for a contract extension in the summer. And if you offer him the max, $272 million, 4 years, and he says, well, I want to play this season out, then you trade him instantly. And then you start to put the pieces together for Giannis and LeBron. Because LeBron's not going to do it by himself. There's no LeBron and James Harden. That's not a competitive team. You're not making a legitimate run in the Eastern Conference. But if Giannis is added to that, and I think Donovan Mitchell would be the key piece to move to bring those pieces, Giannis and LeBron, to Cleveland, okay, because you're making one last run at this with LeBron on his retirement tour and with Giannis and James Harden. I hate saying that, but he's not giving up $42.5 million, and there's even talk that he's going to get an extension from Cleveland, which is a wild thing. You're going to extend James Harden.
That all would seem incredible if it was 2016.
Right.
And not 2026.
That leads sports. It still might lead sports.
It still probably would. I mean, what you just described to me, Reese, feels like a 42-win team.
I hate this.
48-win team. I mean, I don't think that wins anything.
I think LeBron, Giannis, and Harden
does nothing, in my opinion.
Doesn't the Harden
Boston
extension
boat raced you?
Isn't that necessary though to reduce the cap hit?
He has a player option.
Yeah, it's like $30
there's no way
million.
out of it. It's 40.
Yeah,
42.3.
So I think the extension is to ease that
Yes.
burden of the cap hit. That's the only reason that is in there. I understand that LeBron still has moments of greatness and he's still very good. And could he help the Cavs in the playoffs? I'm sure he could. But I don't know, during the regular season, he's going to miss a lot of games, I believe. And I don't know how much that helps you then. Obviously, the goal was in the playoffs. I just don't think you want to get older and more expensive. That's never, I think, a good thing. LeBron already came home once, and you reaped the rewards of that with a championship. I think you stay away from this. I heard Tyvis the other day on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show saying bring LeBron and Kyrie back.
He said Kyrie, and
what are we doing here? Let's bring Mark Price and Brad Daugherty back too while we're at it. Let's get the whole gang back together. But I just don't think. I don't think bringing in LeBron is going to help. To Brian Windhorst's credit, he said the first guy they would want in all of this is Giannis.
Yeah.
And I think Giannis can help you get to where you want to go.
Yeah, that's an upgrade for Mobley. If you go Mobley for Giannis, that's an upgrade.
I just don't think bringing in LeBron at $50 million helps you.
I'll tell you what I think this is about. And so this is Windhorst saying it. We've heard Dave McManaman say it in his piece 10 days ago.
Now, why would he do that?
Right.
Why would they do that?
Now you got it. They're trying to get the Lakers. LeBron doesn't want to leave Los Angeles. There's no chance.
Yeah, it's more likely he ends up, I think, with the Clippers even than the Cavs.
Well, I don't think that either, Reese, because I think that he knows he would never be viewed positively by Laker fans if he goes and plays for the Clippers. This message to me is, in fact, I think the only place he can leave Los Angeles for and they will view him fondly is Cleveland. That's it. I think anything else, they will kick him out with the bathwater. But I think what this is about is the message being sent to Lakers ownership. You need to take care of him the way that you took care of Kobe Bryant. A little refresher. At the end of Kobe's career, the Lakers paid him exponentially when they did not have to. But it was important to the Buss family that a Laker legend retire a Laker. And they sucked for the last 3 years he was there. And he put up points and got paid a lot and played out a retirement tour, and the rest is history. And I think that's the message LeBron is trying to send. And I think the reason he's being so overt in sending it is because guess who doesn't own the Lakers anymore? The Buss family. They don't own them. The guy that owns the Dodgers owns the Lakers. You think he's worried about heartstrings? No, probably not. So I think that's what this is all about. Who knows how it all shakes out. Second hour of the program coming up next. We kick it off with a little higher, lower college football quarterback rankings. Where does Julian Sayin come on this list? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Matty Ice here. Looking for the perfect family SUV this May? Then head to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion and lease a brand new 26 Chevrolet Equinox LT for as low as $259 a month. That's right, the stylish and versatile Equinox LT for just $259 a month. But hurry, this special won't last. Terms and conditions apply. Take delivery by June 1st, 2026. See dealer for details. They're just off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or you can visit them at McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Again, that's McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Not all dental practices are the same. Most do a little bit of everything.
Primarily maintenance and teeth cleanings.
But where do you go when you need serious restoration? Who can give you a brand new smile that's comfortable?
At Runyon Dental Group, we are trained experts in restorative dentistry.
Restoration is all we do.
We can give you a gorgeous, new, comfortable, healthy smile. No matter what the condition of your teeth.
Even if you have no teeth, then we can do it comfortably.
Runyon Dental Group.
I'm Brian Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, today I'm going to teach you something you probably didn't know.
I'm a sponge, Aaron. An intellectual sponge.
AC coils need to be washed every year. But there's something else that needs to be done that no one ever talks about.
Why does no one ever talk about it?
Because it takes a long time and it's really hard to do.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What is it?
Every 3 or 4 years, you really need to deep clean the outside coils of your air conditioner.
Really? Why?
AC coils get super hot, and over time, pollen and dust get baked onto those coils and become a sort of insulation that keeps the coils from releasing their heat.
Well, that would mean the AC has to run longer.
Exactly.
What's the solution?
It requires an environmentally friendly solvent sprayed from the inside out.
But you'd have to disassemble the outside unit for that.
$468 is a bargain price because it does make the AC last a lot longer.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Positive thinking plumbers, electrifying electricians, and deep cleaning HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward, and wouldn't this sound nice? Reduced joint pain, improved libido, restful sleep, and lower anxiety. Weight loss may be the goal, but the added benefits by doing it with Awaken 180 are endless. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Kroger donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit Kroger.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
Guess which store is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and you'll get up to $180 off sets of Goodyear tires. Okay, here's a hint.
As the saying goes, trust is earned, never given. When it comes to your roof, who you trust truly matters. At Newman Roofing, we're more than just a business. We're a local, family-owned company built on honesty, integrity, and hard work. From the very beginning, these core values have shaped the way we do business, ensuring a customer experience that's second to none. Our dedication to quality has earned us the trust of thousands of homeowners across Central Ohio. At Newman Roofing, excellence isn't just a word, it's our promise to you. From the moment we step foot on your doorstep to the final handshake, we strive to deliver an experience that keeps you calling back for more. Whether you need a roof repair or a full replacement, our team at Newman Roofing is here to protect what matters most. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. So give us a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF. or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Cleveland Guardians have a new minority owner in Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. The Cleveland Heights native purchased a stake in his hometown team at the behest of soon-to-be majority owner David Blitzer, who can buy the team from the Dolans following the end of the 2027 season. On the field last night in Cleveland, Nationals beat the Guardians 6-3. Cleveland looks to avoid the three-game series sweep, hosting Washington today at 1:10. As for the Reds, Cincinnati won their second straight game in Queens, beating the Mets 7-2 for the second day in a row. Redlegs are on a three-game winning streak and look to break out the brooms in New York tonight at 7:10. On the ice last night, John Tortorella and the Golden Knights broke out the brooms on the Avalanche with a 2-1 win in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. In the East, Carolina leads Montreal 2-1. This update sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for metal. Visit Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com or 2180 Wilson Road for all your metal needs. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bill Bender, Sporty News, going to join us in 28 minutes from now. Time now, though, for a little higher or lower. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Oh, it's the Big Ten's music now. Big Ten on CBS. Fingers crossed Ohio State gets one or two of those 3:30 kicks this fall. We go to CBSSports.com, and Brad Crawford, who's done the Lord's work in ranking every power conference starter entering 2026. So every quarterback in the P4, he ranked them.
All of them?
Yeah.
Like, how many?
From Ohio State to Vanderbilt to BYU.
Oh, my God, dude. I just pulled up this link, Reese. This is 70 guys. 68 guys?
Guys. Jeremy Hekelinski from Iowa, you are 68th.
Holy smokes, man.
Davis Warren, the quarterback for Stanford, comes in at 67.
That's incredible.
I can't pronounce Michigan State's quarterback, but I guess I'm going to have to before the 2026 season begins.
Wow.
Alessio Miljovic. Sure.
Man. That's an ambitious Mr. Crawford. We used to have Brad on every once in a while. He's a pretty good guy. That's an ambitious undertaking. Good for him.
In the For What It's Worth department, he has at 17, or at 13 on this list, I should say, Brendan Sorsby from Texas Tech. That's no longer the case. You're either going to get Lloyd Jones III or Kirk Francis as your quarterback for the Red Raiders. But what Brad Crawford does on this ranking list is he has them all ranked 1 through 68 in the power conferences, and then has their conference ranking under that. So we'll start at number 1 on this list with Dante Moore out of Oregon, the number 1 quarterback entering the 2026 season, also the number 1 quarterback in the Big Ten. At number 2, Julian Sain, number 2 quarterback in the country, number 2 in the Big Ten. At 3, Arch Manning, quarterback from Texas, number 3 in the country, number 1 in the SEC. At 4, Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss, 4th in the country, 2nd in the SEC. Higher or lower for Chambliss there?
Before I answer that, I've seen a lot of these. These are all floating around right now in terms of like the ranking of the 27
That
class.
time, baby.
Yeah. Guys, this is the first one that's I most closely align with. I think Crawford's got this pretty close.
He crushes it.
I think he's got it. In my opinion, he's got it. He sees this, I guess, similarly to the way that I see it. I would have Julian ahead of Dante because I wouldn't trade Julian for anybody in college football. But if you want to go Dante 1, Julian 2, okay, fine. I get it. That's something that I can certainly reason with. As Dante probably would have been a first-round pick, probably would have been the second quarterback off the board in last year's NFL draft had he come out. So if you want to have him 1, that's fine by me. I love that he's given Julian some respect at number 2 overall. I have no problem with Arch at number 3. I think it's a little rich for Trinidad Chambliss for me. Now, he had an incredible season last year at Ole Miss, but that team, to me, was a little bit lightning in the bottle, and they found lightning in the bottle with him. And I think that for all of Lane Kiffin's warts, and they are plentiful, I think he's a pretty damn good offensive mind. So I'm very curious to see what Trinidad Chambliss can be without Lane Kiffin, without Charlie Weiss's kid. What does that look like at Ole Miss for him? So I would probably drop Trinidad Chambliss a little lower on this list than where he has him at number 4 overall. Not a ton, like he's not in the 20s, but just a little.
I'm good with the top 2. I do think Dante Moore will be the best quarterback in college football this year with Julian saying right on his heels. I think I'm okay with Trinidad Chambliss at 4 because I just believe in his playmaking ability that much from what I saw. I would have a different quarterback than Arch Manning ahead of him, though.
Okay. Which one? I
would have C.J. Carr.
Okay.
In that spot
Dame,
where
yeah.
Arch Manning is.
I think a lot for this is you have Trinidad as a college football playoff quarterback, and everybody else is doing the dance that we talked about in the first segment outside of Georgia and Notre Dame of shotgun marriage. Darian Mensah, Miami quarterback at 5. He's the number 1 quarterback in the ACC. And then C.J. Carr at Notre Dame, who I guess would be number 2 in the ACC for doing this. Gunnar Stockton's at 7. Sam Levitt from LSU is in at 8. At 9, Jada Mayava of USC. At 10, Josh Hoover from Indiana. Higher or lower for Hoover there?
I wasn't like blown away with Hoover at TCU at all last year. I think this is a little rich for him. I think that if anything, you're kind of banking on the Cignetti effect with him going to Indiana and really blossoming. And I think it's a little bit of Cignetti reputation getting him up there. I would not have had him that high on this list. I actually think Jaden Mayava is a little too low on this list, too. I think he's pretty damn good. And they don't play a lot of defense there, but I'd have him higher on this list. I would probably drop Gunnar Stockton down a little bit, and I would have C.J. Carr. I'm with you. I'd have him more about 4 or 5 somewhere in there on this list. I'd have him a little bit higher. But that's all minimal movement. I mean, none of it's too crazy. But I think to answer your question on Hoover, I think it's too high for him.
Hoover's way too high, I believe. I would drop him way down. There's quite a few quarterbacks below him that I would have above him. I think Darian Mensah's a little too high. I've got to see him do it at a bigger school to believe he's that high. I didn't know Gunnar Stockton had more eligibility. I feel like he's been at Georgia ever since Carson Beck left, and it feels like that was so long ago. I don't know. I think Sam Levitt should be higher. What Sam Levitt did at Arizona State the past couple of years, I think, is pretty impressive for Arizona State. And there's no way, to me, like Gunnar Stockton, we just talked about him, there's no way Gunnar Stockton's a better quarterback than Sam Levitt.
No way. I agree.
To me, I don't think Darian Mensah, quite frankly, is better than Sam Levitt either. So I would have Levitt a little higher on this list, too.
Me too.
So this is from Brad Crawford of CBS Sports. He ranked every power conference quarterback from 1 to 68. He's got at 11 his number 1 ranked Big 12 quarterback, and this list includes Brendan Sorsby. But at 11, he's got Noah Fafita, quarterback out of Arizona. At 12, Byram Brown of Auburn. 13, he's got Sorsby. So this came out before the Sorsby news. At 14, Drew Mestamaker from Oklahoma State. At 15, Lenoris Sellers, quarterback out of South Carolina, who he's got 15th overall, 6th in the SEC. Then 16, Marcel Reed of Texas A&M. Higher or lower for Reed and Lenoris Sellers at 16 and 17, respectively.
So Byron Brown, Golish brought him from South Florida, right? Wasn't that the story on that? I think Sorsby's too low on this list for sure. He actually doesn't have this right either. He has him as the number 2 transfer quarterback behind Levitt. I guess that's just his opinion. But Sorsby got to pick first. He could have picked between LSU and Texas Tech, and they both waited, and then he went Tech, and that allowed Levitt to go. Now, you may like Levitt more than Sorsby. That's fine, and I probably do. But that's the way that all kind of shook out. Sellers, to me, is about where he ought to be. I think people thought that there would be – people thought he was going to be a first-round pick in last year's NFL draft, but the accuracy issues are quite real. He is a massive physical talent. He's just not incredibly accurate. which is tough. So I would probably have him down a little bit on this list. Marcel Reed, I would probably put up a little bit. I think he was kind of a one-man wrecking crew at times for Texas A&M, and I would probably have him up a little bit. Not as a prospect, because he's not an NFL prospect, just with the accuracy. You watch Casey Concepcion tape, and you'll see it all over the place. But just in terms of playmaker, I'd probably have him a little higher, but it's pretty close.
So athletic talent, Lenore Sellis should be higher. I think quarterback-wise, he should be lower. I think Marcel Reed's better than him. I think Damon Williams is better than him. I think John Mateer. I think Kevin Jennings is probably better than him. So I would have Lenore Sellers lower. I'm glad you mentioned Byron Brown, Bo.
Mm-hmm.
I think there could be an argument made that at the end of the year, he will have been a top 5 quarterback in college football. I think that kid has a lot of talent. He obviously knows Alex Golish's system coming with him from South Florida. I think Byron Brown is in store for a monster year.
I think Kevin Jennings is too low on this list, too. The beloved Ponies quarterback. He's a really nice player. I would have him a little higher.
Yeah, he's at 20. At 21, Rocco Becht of Penn State. 22, Jaron Keawe Sagapolu-Tele from California.
You're just showing
what
off.
he
I just
said.
wanted to do that. 18,
You're just showing off.
Damon Williams of Washington, and then 19, you had Money Mateer.
Money Mateer should be higher, too. He's a playmaker. Where's our guy Bryce Underwood on this list, Reese?
He's at 23.
Rolling.
23.
Yep. Bo, there's a couple.
Well, he's not better than DJ Legway. Bryce Underwood's not better than DJ Legway.
It's funny you just said DJ Lagway, because I was going to say there's a couple of guys on this list. Connor Wegman, who's at Houston now. DJ Lagway, who's at Baylor. Some of these guys were projected first-round picks in the draft not that long ago. Also, Avery Johnson is still at Kansas State.
That's crazy.
Oh,
He's the one they picked over
Will Howard.
Wow.
How about this one, too, on this? You forget about all of this stuff. Like Nebraska, all of that stuff with Dylan Raiola. Obviously, Raiola's at Oregon now. Anthony Colandrea comes over from UNLV, where he was coached by Dan Mullen. And, I mean, how far along are they in this thing? Tell him to get out of your studio.
I don't know what he's
We're in the
doing.
middle of a show.
By the way, Nico, 38th on this list.
Yeah,
Nico's
right after
38?
Ethan Drunkemeyer.
Oh, my God, he's still playing?
Austin
Amalieva's
Simmons
still playing?
at Missouri.
Oh, my God. There's so much that happens at Lincoln's 43.
Louisville.
That's right. As for who's going to, and Christopher Vizzini is going to replace Cade Klubnik at Clemson. That's where they're at on that. Bo Prabula's at Virginia now? He was at Missouri last year, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you what. Until you see this list, you forget how all of this shook out.
It's kind of bonkers.
It is absolutely bonkers. Speaking of bonkers, Kirby Smart says the quiet part out loud. I've been telling you, this was in play. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Is it time to renew your Medicaid coverage? Don't miss out. When you renew your AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio benefits on time, you keep more than just your health care. You keep your extra perks too. That means doctor visits, dental, vision, plus extra benefits like school supply funds, baby essentials, rewards for health trivia games, and more. Don't risk losing the coverage and extras your family counts on. Visit AmeriHealthCaritasOH.com/renew today. That's AmeriHealthCaritasOH.com/renew.
Think you know Buckeye football? These two say, hold my beer. The Beat with Austin and Berm.
Sponsored by the Waterworks.
Daily on the Fan's YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Showers and storms on and off throughout the day today, otherwise cloudy skies with highs in the mid to upper 70s. For tonight will become partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 50s and a lot more sunshine in the forecast on Thursday as temperatures get in the mid to upper 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we're proudly sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. Sawmill Easton, they will take care of you. I assure you of that. Just seeing this here in the last couple of seconds from our buddy Meredith Garfalo. Flash flood warning here. Heavy rain totals, already 2, 3.5 in some spots with more on the way. Watch out for that flash flooding around, as if we don't have enough rain.
You can hear the rain on the roof. I'm surprised it doesn't come through on some of these microphones.
Jeez. I was looking at, it's a terrifying thing to do, but if you look at June, just look at the month of June and the amount of rain. I was told it was El Nino. They said it with some sort of authority, so I guess I'll take their word for it. Speaking of authority, well, before we play this Kirby Smart Bite, if I were to ask you the question of let's limit it to 3. Who are the 3 most powerful coaches in college football? I think Kirby's one of them, so let's put that as one of them.
Kirby Smart, Ryan Day.
Those are the 2 no-brainers, I agree.
I'm going to say Kurt Signetti.
Vic?
I feel like feel like the Kirby Smart and Ryan Day, I feel like it should be Kalen DeBoer, but I don't think it is because I'm not sure how bought in Alabama fans are with him. I kind of want to say Dan Lanning.
Okay.
But
I think I have
I'm not
the answer.
Sure.
I think it's Marcus Freeman.
Ooh.
I think Marcus Freeman could take any job in the country if he wanted it. I think if Marcus Freeman said, I want to be the head coach at Texas, they'd move off of Sark. I really do. And I think he's the one guy the NFL is really intrigued about the most. So I think Sig's probably on that list. Lanning's on that list. Sark's on that list. DeBoer's on that list. Kirby and Ryan are at the top of the list. And then I think at some point, I think Marcus is third on that list. I think the thing that hurts Cignetti is a couple factors for Marcus. Young versus old. And Notre Dame's independence gives him power. As long as they have it, it gives him power. Whereas Cignetti, even though he's had this incredible run, he's still looking up at Ryan in terms of his influence in the sport.
It's interesting when you posed that question. I immediately just thought of, like, their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus never talks, so he didn't come to mind for me.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, wasn't he on the cover of, like, Esquire or GQ or one of those? Like, he did Vanity Fair or something like that.
He's certainly one of the faces, but
yeah, I think he's got a lot of juice.
In terms of making change to the sport, how much weight do you think his voice carries?
A lot, because the coach at Notre Dame, and they got a seat at the table by themselves. I mean, they're invited. Like, they have the same seat. When all these decisions are made, it'll be a representative of the Big Ten, a representative of the SEC, representative of the ACC and Big 12, and I think the Notre Dame representation is more powerful than the Big 12 and the ACC. Pains people to hear it, but I think it is. I think he's way up there on this list. Kirby's one of them, though, which is the moral of the story. He was one of them, and I've brought this to your attention probably years ago, honestly, that league down there would be perfectly fine doing its own thing and only playing each other and competing for their SEC championship. They'd be thrilled to do it. I think not thrilled, but they'd be fine with it if they had to. There's a bunch of factors that lead to what Kirby is going to say right now out loud publicly at SEC meetings in Destin. And we can get into all of that. But he is now saying that part out loud. Here is Kirby Smart on that.
But I've said this for a long time to our president. I've been a huge advocate that if we can't find rules that everybody plays by, then we should play our own. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to break away and say that our conference is strong enough to go out and play. I mean, like, if we could actually function and it financially would make our programs more stable and we could support things financially, I'm talking about all the sports, and do by our own rules, I'd be all for that. I mean, I've been to this meeting now 10, 11 times, and it's frustrating at times to say, well, we can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because we'll get sued. We can't do that. And we're just trying to do things for the betterment of the sport and the betterment of the student athletes. And that's not curtailing what money they make. I'm not advocating that they make less money. I'm fine with what student athletes make. I'm trying to make it where it's as equal and as comparable footing for everybody, and it's not a race to the bottom, as they say.
They are better equipped to do something like that than any other conference for a couple of factors. Number one, they're all relatively like institutions, right? I mean, they're all relatively similar in terms of just kind of the feel, for lack of a better word. Number two, geographically, that conference actually makes pretty good sense. Yeah, it's a bit of an outpost at Oklahoma, but everything else kind of makes pretty good sense. The two Texas schools have each other now, so that it makes pretty good sense. The third thing is I think their fans would be fine with it, as I've articulated many, many, many times. I think their fans would be fine with it if they said, hey, we're only going to play each other and we're going to play for this, and that's it. That'd be kind of like how it was, 100 years ago, 50, 75 years ago in that league. And then the other thing that I think would make this possible in that area is they have television partner that's lined up, that is motivated, that is willing to work with them on all of it. And there's one other factor, and this is important. All of this isn't that hard for them to do this and play by their own rules because they all have similar size athletic departments. They're all somewhere between 12 and 20 total sports in their athletic departments. They don't have 36 teams that they're trying to support. They got 16, 18, 12, numbers like that. So, like, all of a sudden now, if you're getting, just think of this as, use the Mike Brown, the pie, right? If you're Ohio State and you have an athletic department budget that's, let's just for the sake of this, it's way bigger than this, but let's just say it was $100 million, just so the math's relatively easy, and you split that among 38 teams with the majority going to football, it's a much smaller piece of the pie for the 37 other sports. If you have $100 million and you're at Texas, and let's say Texas, I think they have 18 teams, and you're splitting that $100 million 18 ways, the piece of pie is much bigger. And most of the schools in the SEC are in that boat. There is not an Ohio State in the SEC athletic department. There's not a 38-team, 36-team athletic department in the SEC. Doesn't exist. So in terms of if they were going to actually do this and apply it, this would be the league to do it in because they have so much in common with everybody else in their league.
And Ohio State will never do this, but they should press Michigan, press Penn State, press teams in the original Big Ten footprint to do the same. And then to break away from the NCAA, to really break away from the teams out west. And then once the SEC breaks away from the NCAA, then the SEC and the Big Ten can come together and shape what they want to do for college football. And tell the rest of them, you're more than welcome to come. But we're not doing this with the NCAA. We're not doing this with the College Sports Commission. I mean, for most of my life and then some, the SEC's been playing by their own rules anyway. So if the Georgia president said this last week, Georgia's football coach said it this week. Just do it then. And I'm now on the side. I'm now where Jamie Pollard is, athletic director for Iowa State. Just do it then. Let's stop having this discussion. If you're not able to, as a group, figure things out, then break off, figure out what you want to do. We'll see if others join you.
It's funny that we blame the NCAA and the College Sports Commission and all this. It's you guys.
Yeah, you're the problem.
But they're not going to take accountability for it, so...
Like, it's so funny. Like, you're part of it. Mm-hmm. You're part of the problem. And I don't think we need to totally dissolve the NCAA here in all of this. What we do need to do, though, is break football off from all of it. Football is its own beast. Football cannot be governed like the rest of the sports at universities anymore because it's just too much of a business. So break football off, make it its separate entity, and then you can work within the rules of the NCAA with everything else.
So the schools in the SEC that have to support the most teams are Texas A&M, Georgia, and Bama at 20. Bama actually is the most. They have 21. But it's 20 or 21 is the most. And everybody else is in the teens. Whereas, you've got 36 here. So that's what makes – they're much more aligned. They're much more aligned on all of this. Bill Bender's been around this, covered at an expert level for a very long time. He'll join us in 2 minutes for some perspective. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn, skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
When it's time to ask life's biggest question, make sure your ring says it all. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and we've been helping couples say yes for over 78 years. From brilliant cuts to better prices, the quality and selection of our diamonds is unmatched. Because diamonds aren't just our business, they're our legacy. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Salmo Road or Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com. Bigger diamonds, better prices, guaranteed.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, and that couldn't be more appropriate because one of the most interesting ones is on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline right now. He's our good buddy Bill Bender of the Sporting News, and he joins us there. Lots to get to, buddy. Let's just start with Big Ten last week, the messaging from Tony Petitti. Everybody kind of in lockstep. Ryan a little bit more lukewarm in terms of the 2014 playoff. Did Tony Petitti get done what he needed to get done in terms of messaging last week out in Southern California?
I mean, he firmly puts where the Big Ten stands, and it sounds like a lot of the coaches were in agreement. I dug into the stat of 80, if we were doing a 2014 playoff since 2014, 80 different schools would have made it. And I tried to figure out, okay, who does this benefit the most? And the answer is a game he used as an example. It's Iowa. Iowa would have made the playoffs 6 times. Penn State, James Franklin would still be at Penn State. You know, those kind of things. And I think that's the root of it to me, Bo, is why a lot of the coaches are behind it is they're going to keep their jobs because that is the standard of success. Did you make the playoff or not?
Did you hear Mike Elko acknowledge that? He was asked yesterday in Destin. He said, what do you think of the playoff? He goes, I'd like to see 40 because that means I'd never be on the hot seat. He just said it, which is great.
Yeah, and he said it's supposed to be hard, so he channeled his I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's Jimmy Dugan from A League of Their Own. It's been a few years, but that's what makes it great. It's supposed to be hard when you do those kind of things. And I thought he was the best quote of these SEC coaches that are suddenly sounds like they're split. And I don't know if you read into it the same way I did, Bo. Greg Sankey didn't put his foot down and say 16. He did what he does a lot of times in expansion talk. He said, well, that wasn't our idea. We thought it was 16. He deflects a lot in that situation.
Bill, I thought it was the most interesting thing of all of the things that he said when he said that 16 was Petitti's idea.
Right.
I don't think he's making that up. So then is Petitti using 24 as a means to get to 16?
And that would be fine if we can compromise and go to 16. When I spoke with Jim Phillips last January, the ACC commissioner, he was telling me the reasons why we should go to 16. And it's about playoff access. He does, Jim made the statistical point that he compared it to the NFL. I don't think that's a perfect comparison, but it's just getting a few more teams in. Had we gone to 16 last year, Texas, Vandy, Notre Dame, and BYU would have been in. You would have had a 2-15 game with I think it's I would have watched Ohio State Vanderbilt. I think a lot of people would have watched Ohio State Vanderbilt to see what Pavia would have done against the Buckeyes or not done.
Yeah. I view all of this stuff. I said this a lot. I mean, I just view it through scarlet and gray colored glasses because I'm covering Ohio State mostly. So none of this really affects them. They're going to be in a 16. They're going to be in a 24. I think I did the math. In the 50 years, if there was a 16-team playoff, I think they would have missed it 4 times in 50 years. So, they're always in a good spot, which is just a stupefying stat. What do you make of some of Kirby's comments yesterday? And he's been saying this for a long time, and I work down there, and I just said this in the previous segment. I think that a lot of the constituency down there would be fine with it, of the SEC breaking off and coming up with their own rules.
They might, and they're getting fed up with, I think, the SEC and the Big Ten. You're hearing that talk now. Okay, they're going to break off and do their own thing. Not beneficial to college football as a enterprise, when you're blocking off the Big 12. And does that mean nobody on the West Coast outside of Los Angeles, Washington, and Oregon is watching your product then?
Yep.
I mean, that's part of it as well. But the rules, I think, I think part of the reason you're hearing that from Kirby Smart is we do need some rules, right? Like it feels like there are no rules in college football right now. And I could look no further than I think I don't want to use hyperbole, but if Brendan Sorsby is eligible next Monday through an injunction, that would be catastrophic for college football, in my opinion.
I don't think he's going to be, and I agree with you. I think it would be catastrophic. I don't think he's going to be, Bill. I think it was about the supplemental draft. I think he's getting an official designation of his eligibility changing, which will get him into a supplemental draft. Now, I'm sure that Texas Tech and him are hoping for a Hail Mary to land. And I'm sure he'd love to play at Texas Tech for reportedly $6 million for sure. But at the same time, this gives him an option to get to the National Football League where, in my view, I don't think he would last past the second round in a supplemental situation. But it's also it's the apex example of what I call the shotgun marriage that is the portal. You think about, like, if you're an Ohio State recruiting and you're a position coach, you start knowing a kid when they're 15 years old, 16 years old. This was 3 weeks. Yeah. Sorsby entered the portal on December 15th. He was signed at Texas Tech by January 6th. How well could they possibly have known him?
Yeah, and when you hear coaches talk about building relationships and those kind of things, and you do that through recruiting, and I think another part of the problem here is you have recruits coming in wanting things before they step on campus. I would start, I've said this 100 times, I would start with a 2-year contract and, no inducements to come to school. I mean, you want this, and this before you stepped on campus. That's kind of what happened with Sorsby, and he's a veteran player. So if we could get rid of that, that would be great as well. Now, I'm not naive. I think we should pay players. I just think we've gone a little far in terms of how much we're doing it. And you've heard the phrase not sustainable. How long is it sustainable? And I think that's why these coaches are freaking out.
Bill, it's just, the coaches are freaking out, I think, because of the control. They don't have any control over things. And everything you just said it's a massive problem in terms of, like, a kid who's a year into his quote deal at Big State U says, hey, man, I need a raise or else I'm in a portal. I'm like, well, hold on. You didn't even play. You want to make more money than a kid who's here, who's playing? And those type of discussions, as you and I know, are happening all the time. You're basically re-recruiting your own roster every year right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that goes against the whole idea of development and building those relationships. I think Sorsby's obviously an extreme example, but you see the number of quarterbacks that go in the portal each year. To me, too, you got to give it a chance for 2 years, right? You give something a chance for 2 years. If it doesn't work out, I think Keenholz is a great example. I bet you he has a lot of success at Louisville. Does that make sense? Like
it does, yeah.
Did it, he played at Ohio State. He developed at Ohio State. Julian Sayin wins the job. I think he'll have a lot of success with the Louisville Cardinals, and I hope he does. And I see it from that standpoint. But that's one position. That's just quarterbacks. It's a little bit different.
It is a little bit different, but it's also the one that gets the most attention. It's the one that's the most important. And so I think the key thing with all of this, and this is, I hate that I have this on the record, but I'll do it again. I think even what Tuberville was trying to do, and now he's trying to be governor of Alabama, so maybe he won't get anything done with any of this. But one of the things in his legislation was, let's just fix one thing. Like, you're married, you've got kids. Sometimes my wife will come to me, Bill, and she'll go with like a list of like 10 issues that need to get solved. And I'm like, and then as I'm solving one, she'll hit me with like 2 more. I'm like, let me just fix this thing. And then I'll get to 2. And I think that's where college football is right now. Let's just fix one thing. So if it's the portal, if it's the calendar, get one thing fixed. Here's what I know, and I know you know this too. Anything that has anything to do with limiting the amount of money that they can make is going to lose in a court of law. So stay away from that stuff.
Right. And that's right. I think one at a time. If I were prioritizing, I would say the calendar. I would start with the college football calendar, and then we can get into portal, the NIL portal, and the playoffs kind of window dressing for all of it. We're fighting about the playoff when all of these other things are going on. So I think that's something. As far as the to-do list around the house, I tried to weed the side bed the other day, but there was a snake in there. And then I spent 20 minutes taking the picture of the snake, making sure the snake wasn't going to bite me, and then confirming with some friends, because I'm not Mr. Outdoors, And then by the time I got all this figured out, the snake had left. He was probably sick of me.
Was it a rat snake?
It was I confirmed it was like a garter snake, obviously, but he's a big guy. So,
a
little
dicey.
I wanted to tell him, listen, man, I got to weed this side bet. I got things to do this week, and this is the only day it hasn't rained.
Well, more rain now, so all the breath. Hey, I'll get you out of here on this one. I don't want you to give any thought to it. I just want your gut reaction. Who are the three most powerful coaches in college football right now, in your estimation?
I think the voices that carry the most are probably, and we're actually working on coach rankings now. I'll have those out here in about a week. I think Ryan Day's one. I think he's the voice of the Big Ten because, he gets national champion. When he says something nationally, I think he comes at it from a pragmatic standpoint. I think Kirby's the other one. Kirby's the one from the SEC we pay the most attention to. And then, is it a reach to say a lot of people are very fascinated with Curt Cignetti and what he's been able to do in a short amount of time. I don't know that could wear off quickly, but he would probably be my next choice. So maybe, and we do pay a lot of attention to Sark and Kiffin as well. I think I would round it out with those guys.
It's interesting. So Reese said Cignetti. Bake went Lanning. I think Lanning was his, and I went Marcus at Notre Dame. But I think the
guy left out. Marcus is the other one too that I would put in that list.
Yeah, the third is interesting because it's Kirby and Ryan, and then who's the third? That's the thing in terms of like the most powerful, that when they do something, the world goes, oh, he said this. That's the thing that's interesting on that side of it. But it's we just kind of stumbled on it organically, and thought I'd throw it at you. Appreciate you as always, my friend, and good luck with the Snakes.
I'll stay away from them. Thanks so much for having me on. Take care.
Good buddy Bill Bender of the Sporting News joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. AmazonBusiness.com. As the saying goes, trust is earned, never given. When it comes to your roof, who you trust truly matters. At Newman Roofing, we're more than just a business. We're a local, family-owned company built on honesty, integrity, and hard work. From the very beginning, these core values have shaped the way we do business, ensuring a customer experience that's second to none. Our dedication to quality has earned us the trust of thousands of homeowners across Central Ohio. At Newman Roofing, excellence isn't just a word, it's our promise to you. From the moment we step foot on your doorstep to the final handshake, we strive to deliver an experience that keeps you calling back for more. Whether you need a roof repair or a full replacement, our team at Newman Roofing is here to protect what matters most. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. So give us a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
What's the weather outside? Who cares? Bakers and shorts. This is Bishop and Friends.
And it is a Hey Guys First Friday. Get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. Also, we will take those live in the YouTube chat coming up here in about 13 minutes. Right now, time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, guys.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the Master Griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Speaking Tuesday at SEC meetings in Destin, Commissioner Greg Sankey announces, quote, the end of Cupcake Weekend. Southeastern Conference football teams will schedule conference games in the penultimate regular season weekend instead of FCS and other low major opponents starting in 2027. Pat Forty with this that eliminates one persistent criticism from other leagues of SEC scheduling. Thing or not a thing?
I never understood the criticism. I know it's not popular around here. I never understood it. The SEC just plays a cupcake the week before their rivalry game instead of in September. We play plenty of cupcakes around here. We just play them in September. What's the difference? If I play it September 17th or November 17th, you're still playing a cupcake. You still have the same amount of cupcakes. You're just choosing to do it at a different time of the year. What's the difference? I never understood the criticism of it. I actually thought it was pretty smart of them to do it that way, get a little bit of a rest at the end of the year. Now they're going to get rid of that and play a conference game. Okay, but I never understood the criticism of playing that game when they did.
I'm with you, Bo. I think maybe you can say, well, they only played 8 conference games. They played one less, so they had another one of those on their schedule. Maybe
that's
you
true
could
in
say
recent
that.
years, Bake, yeah.
But who cares when you play Ball State or Grambling or Coastal Carolina or whoever it is? Insert cupcake here. Who cares when that is? It's actually kind of smart to do it later in the year to help you get healthy for everything. As Lane Kiffin said, that they could get healthier going into those games, even though the numbers proved it different with Indiana and the amount of players that played 500 snaps this year compared to Alabama and Georgia. But yeah, like I said, if they're on your schedule, who cares when? Just play them.
Last Friday, did you guys, along with Joshua Perry, talk about Ohio State's line against Ball State?
The betting line?
Yes.
No.
All right, so we're about, I think it's 101 days out from September 5th, Buckeyes and Cardinals. Probably be a noon kick. Buckeyes opened as 49.5-point favorites there. Also in week 1, you've got Ohio, a 23.5-point underdog at Nebraska. LSU opens as a 10.5-point favorite against Clemson. They're hosting the Tigers in that Death Valley. Notre Dame, a 20.5-point favorite, playing Wisconsin at Lambeau Field. And then SMU opening as a 2.5-point favorite at Florida State. That's week 1, not week 0, per FanDuel. Or DraftKings, excuse me. Thing or not a thing?
I think what you're seeing, so I hate that you open with a team that you're a 50-point favorite over. I think that's nonsense. But, last year they opened to Texas, so I can't be too hard on that. But I think what you are seeing, guys, and we did talk about this. I can't remember if we talked about it on the program or not. I feel like maybe we did. What I think you are seeing is a reaction to the 12-team playoff and scheduling. And so what you're getting is, instead of opening up with some haymakers, you're getting a lot of garbage, a ton of it. Week 0, there is nothing in week 0. I mean, the 2 games on ESPN in week 0. I'm sorry, that's not week 0. Let me pull up week 0. The 2 games on ESPN in week 0 are North Carolina, TCU, and NC State, Virginia. That's it. That's the list. Their primetime game on Thursday night is Colorado, Georgia Tech. On Friday night, their primetime game is Miami and Stanford. It leaves a lot to be desired, this early schedule. Even this is the national schedule. They have the ESPN because it's all on the same network, so it's easy to figure out. This is the ESPN. This is the ABC Week 1 college football slate. Noon is East Carolina at Alabama, Baylor at Auburn in 3:30. Clemson LSU is the night game. The Sunday night game is Louisville Ole Miss, and the Monday night game is SMU Florida State. None of those are bonkers great games. Can't wait to see them. I mean, we're going to be excited for all of it, but there isn't, usually week 1, week 0, there's at least a couple of games that are like attention getters. This year there's not, and I think it's a reaction to the 12-team playoff.
I don't think this is too big of a thing, Bo. I'm not. We love I love the Texas game, but I don't know if I love that week 1. I mean, that's fun, but I think that's part of your openers is to get you ready for the season. So it doesn't bother me too much that Ohio State is playing Ball State or some of these teams aren't playing big time. Now, I know we don't love that for the schedule. We'd like to have some big games every week. I think the thing here is the OU Bobcats are covering week 1. That's way too much. Would you say Anthony Calandria is their quarterback at Nebraska?
Yeah.
This OU team's been recruiting like crazy. John Hauser kept a lot of the guys there.
Mm-hmm.
Bang the Bobcats week 1.
Who's your head coach?
John Hauser.
John Hauser, local guy.
Yep.
Hartley guy.
Oh, that's cool. And was he there on staff previously?
Yes.
He was. Okay. And whatever happened to the other guy?
So he has sued Ohio University for the remainder of his contract, citing, I forget the exact phrasing there, but yeah, Brian Smith.
He was not fired for cause, he's trying to say.
Yep, the allegation is they rushed it.
Didn't we? And we had him on.
We had him on the program.
West Virginia, right?
Sure did.
Kiss of death, obviously.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Jeez.
So the 49.5-point spread, that's from DraftKings. FanDuel's got the Buckeyes as a 1.5 underdogs at Texas on September 12th and at Indiana on October 17th. Buckeyes are 12.5-point favorites to open against Michigan. The opening odds are Ohio State minus 12.5, hosting Michigan on November 28th.
I'd say cover, win, but not cover. I don't think Whittingham's going to get lost, going to lose by 2 touchdowns in his first Ohio State-Michigan game.
ESPN's
I bet it's competitive.
Jeff Passan had this earlier today. Travis Kelce's joining the Cleveland Guardians as a minority owner. Guardians are valued at around $1.7 billion. That's up from their billion-dollar valuation in 2022. Lead minority owner David Blitzer purchased the stake back then. He's got a pathway to majority ownership, which he can choose to own the team after the 2027 season. Blitzer brought Kelce aboard. The Cleveland Heights native says he's very excited to own a part of his childhood. Thing or not a thing?
What's worth more, Taylor Swift's net worth or the Cleveland Guardians?
Taylor Swift. Someone had it this morning, it might have been Reflog, that she paid out more in Eras Tour bonuses than the Guardians are paying in their 2026 payroll.
So,
2-year tour.
$197 million in bonuses. Guardians, $95 million to payroll.
She made $800 million on the Eras Tour.
Well,
she's worth $1.6 billion, equal of the Cleveland Guardians. That's her net worth. Jeez. Good for Trav. Good for Trav. Obviously, he loves Cleveland and is excited about it. It kind of makes you wonder, like, are they going to put down some roots up there? You wonder if that's kind of the way that this is all going to go. But good for him. I'm happy for him, happy for the Guardians. Reese, it seems like you're finally going to have some ownership that's willing to spend a little bit, so that's going to be exciting.
Just put pinstripes on the jerseys because with Swift money and Blitzer money, they'll be the new New York Yankees.
Let's go. Wouldn't that be fun?
I mean, if they get Tarek Skubal, well, the league's going to probably not play in 2027.
Well, he's got loose bodies in his elbow. We're not sure about that.
He's got him removed.
Loose bodies.
Reese, if it's all just fun coupons, how much fun are you going to have?
Cleveland Dodgers, baby.
Let's go, baby. Final hour coming up next. We kick it off with a little Hey Guys, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
When you are a member of Tel-Ohio, your money works harder for you. Lock in 4% APY on a 24-month CD and watch your savings grow with a credit union built for its members. Visit telohio.org to learn more.
Federally insured by NCUA. Membership open to anyone in Ohio. Restrictions apply.
Cash, moolah, greenbacks, toast, Skrilla, chips, bread and mold, cheddar, butter, loot and scratch. Find the lettuce. Make a match. Lettuce, gravy, game on the back for $30. That's a wrap. There's many words for cash, no doubt, but there's only one $30 cash word. Check it out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's $30, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions of prizes, don't you know? Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. At Germain Toyota of Columbus, it's all about you, your drive, your style, and your budget. Stop in and see Marcello. He'll get you rolling. Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Or check them out online at germaintoyota.net.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
Welcome back to What is that thing? Today our guest is
Dr. Melvin Parsbrucker. I invented the sump pump.
Ah, the sump pump. I've heard Apex pros talk about those.
Yes, the pros who knows are true experts in sump pumpology.
So, Doctor, what is that thing?
You see, a sump pump is a device designed to pump out sump.
Sump?
For the pump.
You say the pumps?
Sump.
Sump. And what exactly is sump?
It's what gets pumped.
I want to be sure I'm hearing you right. Sump?
Sump.
And that's what gets
pumped. Look, maybe Apex Pros can explain it at your level.
Well, Apex Pros says some pumps are made to keep groundwater from accumulating and flooding your basement, especially this time of year with the big spring rains and the uniquely shallow water table in and around Franklin County. A simple sump pump can protect your home from tens of thousands of dollars in damage.
It's made to sump the pump.
Of course.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. There's day baseball scheduled this afternoon in Cleveland, but rain in the forecast might postpone Game 3 of the Guardians series with the Nationals. Cleveland looks to avoid the series sweep at 110. Earlier today, the team announced Travis Kelce has purchased a minority stake in his hometown franchise. Billionaire David Blitzer can become a majority owner following the 2027 season. The Cincinnati Reds are on a 3-game heater. Redlegs ran the Mets 7-2 yesterday in New York. They'll look for the 3-game sweep tonight at 7:10. On the ice last night, John Tortorella and the Golden Knights broke out the brooms on the Avalanche with a 2-1 win in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. They'll await the winner in the East. Carolina leads Montreal 2-1. Canadians will host Game 4 tonight at 8. In the NBA last night, the Thunder took a 3-2 lead on the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, winning in Game 5, 127-114. San Antonio will host Game 6 Thursday. This update is sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Right now at UDF, buy any 2 bottled beverages and get the 3rd one free with Ellie Steele's 3rd.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a First Friday. Get your officially endorsed coming up in about 45 minutes from now. Right now, though, time for a little Hey Guys. Hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag #HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Great food, award-winning drinks, and something for everyone in the family. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
All right, we're getting your questions in the YouTube chat as they come. We can read them on the air. We'll get them out there. Also at 971BFS if Twitter is your preferred method of contact with us. We'll start with Phil, who asks, hey guys, what's your guilty pleasure song or artist? Parenthetically, he adds, typically played at a high volume while alone. He says, mine's would be Paramore's Ain't It Fun.
I don't think I know that song.
You might. It just might be one of those you don't know the name of. Yeah, I think if you hear it, you'd be like, okay, I've heard that before.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I'm a child of the 90s. And so you give me any of that West Coast rap, and I'm pretty much into it. You get me a little NWA, you get me a little Cube, little Dre and Snoop. I know all the words to all that stuff. I remember defying my parents and going to buy Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style CD, and that was a big moment. So, yeah, I can do some gin and juice anytime you want.
I don't know if I feel like that's a guilty pleasure, just like I'm not sure mine is, but for some reason, I've always felt like it was a guilty pleasure that I liked Maroon 5. I don't know why that is. Maybe because of the maybe because of the station I worked at before. But I just always felt like Maroon 5 was a guilty pleasure.
I see what you're going for. You're saying like something that might be considered lesser than?
Yeah, like if
how embarrassing you're listening to
why would he
them.
like that song?
Oh, okay. I was thinking more in the lines of like if I'm in the convertible and I'm blasting like gin and juice, I have to turn that down at the radio. So from that perspective, I mean, I think Coldplay's got a lot of bangers.
Yep. I'd put them up there.
And I think they got crushed just by, what is it? Is it 40-Year-Old Virgin that they made fun of them in?
Yes.
And then everyone was like, you like Coldplay or whatever. But they had a lot of them that are easy to. And I always think the funny thing with music is it's timeless for my kids. I've said this before. They have no idea when any of it came out, and so like you'll hear NBC singing like a Maroon 5 song from 30 years ago, and I'm like, where do you hear that? And it's something on Instagram that's fed to them or TikTok, and so like they think all that, they listen to all that stuff.
But along the lines of the Coldplay, where you said it was like not cool to like Coldplay,
yeah,
I feel like that's the same with Nickelback.
It
like
is Nickelback,
somehow people
100%.
are like, oh, nobody likes Nickelback, yet they've sold out huge arenas all over the world, and I guarantee you if I play 10 Nickelback songs, you'll know in like 7 of them.
There's no question you're right. In fact, the boys, that's one of the ones that pops up. There's a Nickelback song that pops up. Is it Rockstar?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
I've never copped to liking Good Charlotte till now.
There you go.
But
You just went and saw them.
I did, and they were incredible. But this is probably the first time I've said, yeah, I'm a fan of Good Charlotte's music. But they've been my guilty pleasure forever. Creed,
I'm anti-shaming anybody for what you like.
Yeah, if you like it, it's your music.
It's all subjective, brother. Live. Go ahead on Creed.
They were a guilty pleasure for a lot of people, and then I think it just became ironic. And so now everybody loves Creed because it's funny. And the music still, I think, still.
I'll tell you right
good.
now, you put Higher on, and it's gonna slap.
There's like 20,000 people at the shot singing Arms Wide Open. Like, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Just because Scott
People don't
Stapp
love
went
that
crazy
music.
doesn't mean the music wasn't good.
He went infers he was never not. Connor asks, hey guys, where would the Cavs be if they had LeBron or Giannis on this year's team?
Right where they are.
Yeah.
They might be playing that analytical game 5 tonight.
I think it's more competitive.
Maybe one
Certainly.
game. I don't think it's much different.
Because they may not have made the move for Harden.
Are you saying and they don't have to touch their roster? Like you just put them on the team?
Yeah.
If he's saying
at least
that,
we could play that game.
Yeah, if they would have done that, then they might be able. Like if you put Giannis on that team, and away you go. I think that's a more like you might beat the Knicks if you have Giannis with their current roster and not have to get rid of anybody. I don't know that LeBron would change it that much in terms of if you could beat New York if you had LeBron James, just because they're all ball dominant. Like who are you going to play?
What if you just switch one of them with Harden?
Oh yeah, they're still playing.
So if it's LeBron, I guess your crunch would be what? Like Wade, Strus, LeBron, Mitchell, and Mobley or Allen? Or do you go, is it Allen, Mobley, LeBron, Wade, and Mitchell?
I think it's that.
Or Strus and Mitchell? Is that your crunch 5? I don't know.
Probably Strus and Mitchell.
But
I guess whatever
You're
you
still
do
gonna
to
have
not have
defensive
James.
issues.
Yeah. At least you can score. So whenever the Knicks are making their shots from all over the court, you're probably better at responding to that. President Bush with this one on Twitter at 971BFS. Hey, guys, would you rather be able to change the outcome of 5 sporting events per year or erase your memory so you can experience TV shows, movies, and music for the first time again?
Oh, my gosh. I think the 5 sports would be the thing I would pick because I don't know, I enjoy revisiting television shows that I love. Like, I've watched, my favorite ones, like Deadwood, Sopranos, Wire, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Justified, all of those I've seen all the way through multiple times. Like, if I'm bored, I'll jump into a season of Curb Your Enthusiasm and watch an hour and a half of it. So I don't mind. You also have to remember, when all of that stuff was originally out, it was on once a week, and you had to wait 6 days to watch it again. And now that you can stream all of this stuff and you can binge it, it's kind of a totally different experience. So I wouldn't see the value. It would be valuable to be able to. I would love to be able to experience like Game of Thrones for the first time again, like how great that was. But at the same time, like, I would still revisit Game of Thrones and watch an episode of it here or there if it's on, and it still hits the same way, even though I know how it's going to end. Whereas this 5 sporting events change, I think, like, honestly, for President Bush, I think his 5 sporting events number is too big. I think if it was like you can pick 2 sporting events a year you can change the outcome of, I think that would make it where you'd give it a little bit more thought. But 5, you basically are rewriting every year your sports enjoyment.
Yeah, give me the 5 sporting events. Bo, I'm with you. If I've seen stuff, like, I've seen Tommy Boy 1,000,000 times, but if it's on, I'm going to watch. I've seen Wedding Crashers 1,000 times. If it's on, I'm going to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we eat the same foods because we enjoy them and we like them. So, yeah, would it be cool, some things to go back and rewatch and see it for the first time? Maybe, but I'm going to change some sporting events and try to help my teams.
Let's do this, because I just thought of something to add on to President Bush's. If you had one sporting event from this year you could change the outcome of, what would it be? One. You get one. And yes, January 1st.
Yeah, is it the... So, I guess are we saying that if it's... Like, if you beat Indiana... Would you rather, if you beat Indiana, does that change all of it? That's mine, because then I don't have to deal with Cignetti. Like, if you beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, then I don't have to say I'm wrong about Cignetti. I don't have to deal with that he's a legit, all of that stuff.
So you're saying the Big Ten championship?
I'm saying the Big Ten championship game. You beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship, then I think you cruise to the national title.
I think the Big Ten championship is the right answer, because then you're the number 1 seed, and that changes the whole path. Changes everything.
I think it might be the Miami game. You win that one. Because they can win the Big Ten championship, that's fine. But if I'm Ohio State, I would have liked another crack at them.
Yeah. I mean, those are the two.
Right.
It just, those are the two that you're going to have.
Not game one of the Eastern Conference Finals? Nobody? Bueller? Bueller?
What's that?
Did my plucky little Dodgers win it all this year? Oh, yeah, they did in Game 7. So I don't have anything there.
They're on an okie-dokie pace this year, I think. Shohei Ohtani got injured, came back, and is somehow better than he was last year.
They're a plus, 300 run differential.
Plus 117, yes.
It's a little family-run operation. Scratch.
Is Ohtani's ERA 0.95?
Don't worry. He's the best player in the history of the sport.
He's going to get sick of the Dodgers and their deferring payments. The Guardians will come in with that Taylor Swift money.
Join us for the Fan 5K presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. It's 5K run, 1 mile walk. It's happening Saturday, June 20th at Otterbein. Some of our favorite fan personalities will be there. Brother Bone will be there. Nephew Tyvis, Man, Timmy, Reese, and yes, Mr. King and Miss Sheeran will be there as well. Every participant gets a finisher's medal, a race shirt, free photos, awesome gifts from Logan Services, the Fan 5K, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. Sign up today at 971therace.com. We'll continue with Hey Guys. Jody, Shelley coming up in 18 minutes from now. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
The Reds are on the radio.
Swung on, crushed, high, deep, left field. There it goes. A 3-run go-ahead blast for Eugenio Suarez. They're waving around Friedel. Up throwing Anthony. Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Reds walk it off at 11, 6-5.
The quest for October baseball is underway. Hear all the action all season long on your home of the Reds.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we put new windows in a Dublin home last week. You wouldn't believe how much new light was let in. Changed the entire mood of the home.
You don't need fancy windows to change the mood of a room, Leslie. Know what else will do that? Wilson's Wicks, my new candle line. Here, smell this one.
Oh, that's bad.
I call it warm tuna salad. It's not for everyone.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Rothman and Ice.
If you hit a fadeaway on Tree Rollins, you'd remember his name.
But I think in time, Tree Hollins, that name would fade a little bit.
Tree Rollins? Faded in 2 seconds.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Showers and storms on and off throughout the day today, otherwise cloudy skies with highs in the mid to upper 70s. For tonight will become partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 50s and a lot more sunshine in the forecast on Thursday as temperatures get in the mid to upper 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And it's your Uncle Bo here. When you've been around for a while, you learn a few things. I know radio, but for pests like ants or termites, not for me. So when things aren't for me, and I know my limitations, especially in this regard, I turn my attention to my good friends at Rose Pest Solutions. Over 165 years of experience, they've mastered their craft as the nation's oldest family-owned pest control company. The pros from Rose protect Columbus homes and businesses with expert pest prevention and treatment. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE. That's ROSE, or visit rosepestsolutions.com. Back to the Hey Guys we go. Go ahead, Reese.
Yeah, Ace in the YouTube chat asks, hey guys, if you could watch an Ohio State football game played anywhere in the world, not in the United States, what stadium or setting, and who would you want them to play against?
Well, let's just let's have some fun with this, right? So I am from German descent. There's a lot of German descent in the great state of Ohio. I think it would be a natural for the Ohio State Buckeyes to play at the Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany. And why the hell not? Let's play Michigan.
I think Ohio State versus Notre Dame in Ireland would be fantastic. Because I love I love going and being the enemy at away games. So I think Ohio State, Notre Dame, Ireland would be fantastic.
I like that. Dublin.
I guess if we're going to do a game at the Bernabeu, you want to have some finesse to it. So Ohio State, Oregon.
Oh, that would
I think would be pretty tremendous. Great
That was
uniform
really-
combination, a lot of points.
Yeah, play on that grass. It's like a fairway
That
at
thing's
Augusta.
nuts. Yeah. SK asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, in terms of your financial future, do you have a use it or lose it mindset and spend rather freely, or are you a cautionary saver and spend only on needs, not wants?
I'm old now, so I have different ways of handling those things, but there's no question that one of the looking back on it, this will not be a mistake that my kids make. I remember signing up for classes, like officially getting my classes with the registrar my day one of like a week before college started, and all of us freshmen are in line, and there were 2 tables in the line on the way to sign up for classes, and the 2 tables were for an American Express card and a MasterCard. And me and my buddies are like, dude, let's get a credit card. Let's get 2. So we did. We got 2 credit cards. We literally signed up while we were in line waiting to officially register for classes. And needless to say, I was the former early in my life, a big-time spender, oftentimes spending what I did not have, which was a bit of a pain in the neck to dig out of, but did by the time I was in my mid-20s. But looking back was a big-time mistake. Big-time mistake.
So I have definitely most of my life been the former. I always had this mentality when I was younger, like, why do I work so hard if I can't go out and enjoy it with my friends and buy them a beer? I have in the past 5, 6, 7 years started saving a little more, but I'm still, if there's something that I want, I just go ahead and get it. I'm probably like the worst person in the world to buy gifts for, because if I see something I want, I just get it. So, yeah. But I try to be a little more, put a little more away nowadays.
I'm trying to get a house, so my girlfriend and I are squirreling away as much as we can.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, it's not that I wouldn't say this is the best financial plan, but we're trying to look for the best rates. So we've done a lot of hopping around in the last couple of years on where we're putting our money. And that might be a good, she's the financial brains of the operation, so I trust whatever she does. I was about to say, Baker, you might be the best person to get a gift for, because you don't really have to think too much about it. I'd get you something I know you're going to use. I get you a beverage, or I get you a bottle of something. I know it's going to, I don't need to worry about, does he want this Ohio State thing? Nah, just get him a bottle of something.
Gosh, he'd hate that Blue Jackets thing.
Because, you could buy it, but I'm getting it for you. We get another one from Ace in the YouTube chat. Hey, guys, for every road trip you take for the rest of your life, you can only pick one. The other item will never exist again. A Whopper meal from Burger King or a Quarter Pounder meal from McDonald's.
I'm a McDonald's guy when it comes to that. I haven't had either one. I can't tell you the last time I had a Whopper. I don't know if I've had more than 5 Whoppers in my life. I don't think I have. I think I've had probably 2. I don't even know. I can't tell you if I've ever had one. Maybe once. Probably when I was in college, we probably did a taste test between that and the Big Mac. And when I go to McDonald's, which is very rare, it would be my order when I was young, though, and I had the stomach for it, was the Big Mac, not the Quarter Pounder with cheese. It was always the Big Mac.
So I think both the Whopper and the Quarter Pounder with cheese are great sandwiches. However, you're not beating a McDonald's Coke or McDonald's fries. So I can't not have those. And I can't not have a McDonald's Coke on a road trip. So I'm sorry, Whopper, you're going bye-bye forever.
Why is the McDonald's Coke so good?
Crack. And they sprinkle it in there somehow.
Blue meth from Breaking Bad.
They still have the literal cocaine in it.
Sprinkle it in.
They literally have cocaine in it. That's why it is. It's just better. I don't know. If they sold that stuff, that's how much of McDonald's reputation is wrapped up in their Coke.
Could I go to the store and get a 2-liter of that, please?
Yeah, I'd like that. It never tastes that way
anywhere
else.
Thought the Whopper and the Big Mac just did too much. Like a simple burger. The Quarter Pounder with cheese is just a simple burger. That there's no frills. And then you add in the better fries, the better soft drink, probably other better options. I'm trying to remember the last time I was at a Burger King.
Yeah,
McDonald's was a couple years ago, but
I had on the way back from a ridiculous youth lacrosse tournament. The only place we could stop on the turnpike was Burger King. It was the only restaurant, and that was a day. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what wrecked the Big Mac for me a little bit was the first time I had In-N-Out, and then I realized that and I don't know which one came first. I don't know if the Big Mac came first or double animal style came first, but it's basically the same thing. And it's the same thing, I guess, in theory, but in no other way are those two things the same.
We should go out in the hall and see if Tyvus is still here, and we could have him come in and talk about this and tell us how he should have grilled chicken and a salad for your Memorial Day party while he's DoorDashing Bojangles breakfast this morning.
You guys have had In-N-Out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is your order there, Reese? Because you said you thought too much is on the Big Mac. Do you not get it animal style?
I got the fries animal style the last time I went. I think I just get the burger with cheese. If you can get bacon on it.
You can get anything you want.
Yeah.
Made to order.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato, I think was the burger order with cheese, and then the fries animal style.
Fries animal, yeah.
So I've only been to In-N-Out once, and this was 10 years ago, one of the times I was in Vegas. I don't remember exactly how I ordered it, but I'm a very plain person with my burgers. Like, I can do ketchup and mustard on them and things like that, but I prefer them without. So I probably just did like bacon on it, bacon and cheese, and went.
Okay. So right now, would you say that, like, of that type of burger, there's In-N-Out, Shake Shack, and Whataburger? Have you guys had the signature from all three?
So I have never had Shake Shack or Whataburger.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the signature from Whataburger, I don't remember, but I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a burger from there. I've had a burger from Shake Shack. Shake Shack's overrated, in my opinion. Their fries are great. I like the crinkle.
They do the crinkle fry with the cheese. It's pretty good. Yeah, I would probably go, the order on that would be In-N-Out, Whataburger, Shake Shack would probably be the order I would do that.
I might reverse Whataburger, In-N-Out, but Shake Shack, doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Because it's always been a line, and I'm if I got to wait 45 for this, no.
Right.
There's no way. I'll just go somewhere else.
45 minutes.
Because if it's...
First time I went to an In-N-Out, it was at lunch. It was in it was in La Quinta. There was one it was before they built the one in Palm Desert. There's one in La Quinta, and we went out there, and I took the boys, and we got burgers and the shakes and all of that. The line was around the place, like on just a random Tuesday at noon. It was into the street. It's crazy.
So I did not have that problem. When whatever In-N-Out we went to, we got right in and ordered and had no problem.
Most of the time it's that way because there's enough of them, especially if you're in Southern California.
Used to it there, yeah.
Yeah. There's one in Tennessee now, right? In Nashville? I think they have an In-N-Out now.
Be smart of them to do it.
For the longest time. Yeah. For the longest time, they wouldn't come east because their whole thing was their ingredients had to be shipped fresh. They didn't want anything overnight.
Yeah, I'm looking. They opened one last year.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll do well.
I mean, it makes sense. It is Nash Vegas now.
I think I've only had Whataburger once. I think their whole thing is tater tots, isn't it? Isn't that what Whataburger's all about?
I'd have to look. Remember the burger being great?
Yeah, I think it's the tater tots that are the... No, they don't. Oh, hash brown sticks. I knew that's the... I call them... I mean, they're tater tots.
Sold.
Yeah, they're hash brown sticks, but they're basically long tater tots is what they are, and they're a delight. All right. You got one more quick, Reese, or we go to...
Well, I was just going to say, Hadley says in the YouTube chat a lot of disrespect for Wendy's in the conversation.
Oh, no, they weren't brought up. I think Wendy's is elevated from Burger King and McDonald's in my mind, but then it's not. I think it's in between that and like In-N-Out, Shake Shack, that world, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think if you could
kind of
send
in between
Burger King, I mean, if you want to just send Burger King to Mars, put them on Elon's rocket, and you'd replace them with Whataburger or In-N-Out, Columbus would be a better place.
There you go. All right, Shelley time in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
When you are a member of Tel-Ohio, your money works harder for you. Lock in 4% APY on a 24-month CD and watch your savings grow with a credit union built for its members. Visit telohio.org to learn more.
Federally insured by NCUA. Membership open to anyone in Ohio. Restrictions apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The gloves. Shelley time.
Oh, it's been way too long, man. It has been way too long for a little bit of Shelley time. How you been, buddy?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been great. It's been it's been a great year, and now to be done and back in Central Ohio is wonderful.
That's nice.
Enjoying today's weather. Yeah.
There you go. This has been a really fun Stanley Cup playoffs. It's been incredibly Columbus Blue Jacket flavored. I mean, it feels like our guys are everywhere. The matchup in the West with the two coaches, obviously. Obviously, Marty was here, and obviously with Montreal now, and Josh Anderson, all these guys that were here. Do you find yourself having a rooting interest in all of this at all?
Well, I am from Canada, and the Stanley Cup has not been back there since 1993. And former Blue Jacket Trevor Letowski is on the bench with the Montreal Canadiens, a really good friend of mine. So I'm pulling for the Montreal Canadiens and Letowski and St. Louis in that group, but also John Tortorella and the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, knocking off the Avalanche in 4. I mean, isn't that in Torts fashion too? You know, the sweep. I go back to that speech he had in the Blue Jacket series against Tampa, which went viral because it was just like motivating. I watch that sometimes just to get motivated before I go to the gym. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, it's amazing because it's been teams that have made the playoffs, especially Pittsburgh and Philly early on. You know, it's pretty wide open in the East as we expected, but I think Montreal and Vegas for me.
What is it about John Tortorella? I've tried to explain it this. To me, it feels like he's like a shot of adrenaline. Like you've seen Pulp Fiction, right? You got to go to the heart with the shot of adrenaline. It's like he does that, and the stones it took to make that move to bring him in when they did, and then it have to pay these type of dividends. Joe, the Vegas Golden Knights won 40 games this year. The Columbus Blue Jackets won 39. Yeah. We missed the postseason. They're in the Stanley Cup Finals. And the move with Torts is the catalyst for this.
It's fascinating, right? Because Bruce Cassidy is a really good coach. And Torts admits it that Bruce did all the heavy lifting. And when you have an older group like Vegas, a lot of them have won Stanley Cups, expectations every year is for them to win the cup. And you have a guy like Torts come in, it's a different voice. It's a completely different approach and probably a little more relaxed than Bruce Cassidy had in a lot of ways. But Torts will shock you with some things like days off, a little talk or no talk, and then direct messages and it doesn't matter who you are, where you're drafted, how much your salary is, how much ice time you think you deserve. Everybody has parameters as a team and as individuals, and then he takes you to the next level where, you know, with Seth Jones here, remember he was benched from the third period of one game? Well, what did that do for Seth? Ask him today. You know what I mean? Like, so he has so much knowledge with people. And when he was at the Olympics, I talked to Mike Sullivan, the head coach of Team USA, after they won the gold medal. And I said, how was Torts? And he said he was perfect because I know him so well. He was in charge of clientele. So he would be in Sully's ear like, hey, this is getting stale. This line's getting stale. This needs to be changed up. This isn't working, with just chemistry of people. And right now with this group he's got in Vegas, they're older. They know the assignment, and he's just there once in a while to snap their awareness back into shape. It's been fascinating to watch, and I got to go out there and cover a couple of Vegas games and talk to him. And, you know, he is so appreciative of the opportunity. But what it is with Torts, it's his straight-ahead attitude, is refreshing, no nonsense with anything, and then he can laugh at himself as well. So he's done a fabulous job there, just with some players in and out of the lineup, players on different lines, and boy, the poor people in Toronto with Mitch Marner, that they ran him out of town, and look at him now.
I'm going there next.
In the playoffs.
You know, I'm going there next because you and I talk about it every time you go there. And I know, you know, some of our audience has been to games up there, but the whole thing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perception, you would know far more than me. My perception down here, it felt like the Toronto media and a lot of fans put a lot of their playoff disappointment squarely on Mitch Marner, that he was a choke artist, couldn't get it done in the postseason. Well, he gets out from under that, and now look at here. What do folks in the hockey world make of all that?
Well, listen, he had a slow start to these playoffs, but you're one piece of a team, and you see a lot where in series, in moments, look at Nathan McKinnon, the last series against Vegas that just got closed out last night. He had no goals. You need someone else to chip the goal and cover it up, get the win. It's just finding a way to win. You don't sit back and say, you know, because the other team is planning against Nathan McKinnon, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, you know, Zach Werenski, whoever it is. There's a game plan against them. So you have to have the four lines going, and you have to have power play moments, and you have to let guys get footing and confidence in Stanley Cup playoffs. So, yeah, that's what he was in Toronto. First round, always eliminated. They made it to the second round once. Wasn't good enough. He listened to the dialogue. His family heard the dialogue. They felt hung out to dry. So he got to choose where he went. So the trade to Vegas and the sign, and now he's happy there. But it takes time. You have to protect your team and your players in playoffs, and you also have to have, listen, we know every year Tampa had the third line when they won the two cups. The fourth line of the Vegas Golden Knights is being talked about every single night in the broadcast because they're chipping in offensively. They're playing hard against the top players of the opposition, and they're part of the team. It's really a fascinating study to watch the team play of the Vegas Golden Knights, the Montreal Canadiens, the Carolina Hurricanes, because they believe in what they're doing.
So I'm not from Canada, but I'm from Canada adjacent. And so I'm with you. I'm rooting for Montreal as big as possible. I just think when I see those images of that barn, and then you see like the public square outside, it's the biggest barn in North America. And then you got the public square outside. I've been to Montreal a couple times. It is, for people who haven't been, it feels like Europe, really. It feels like a European city with the architecture, all of it. And I just can't, you just go in there and you look into those rafters, you see all those names. I just want that so badly for them. And they're the last ones to do it in 93. And this team looks really special. They're young. They're coming along. What do you kind of make of that series? The overtime loss to Carolina, that place was ready to explode, but the turnover happens and then it goes the other way. You think we're going 7 in the East? And what do you kind of make of that series so far?
You know, I don't know. I mean, Carolina, I would not be surprised if they win the rest of the way. Young team in Montreal, youngest team in the National Hockey League to start the playoffs ever. I think they broke their record last year with that stat. I don't know how they beat Buffalo in the final game. Buffalo outplayed them, and they got the saves, and then they got the goal and moved on. It's uncanny what's working out for them to this point. I just hope that their spirit stays high because Carolina makes nobody feels good about themselves when they play the Carolina Hurricanes to a man. And they seem to have found that game. I love how Montreal is hanging in. I could be completely wrong. I would love for Montreal to come out tonight and win at home, which I have to touch on what you said. I watch on TV and knowing and understanding that I'm feeling 10% of what it's like to be there, and I'm still getting chills, and I'm still excited to watch. Was it Claude Lemieux last game? Bring out the torch. It's an experience. I don't know if there's anything comparable. It's like a concert. When the main act comes out, and the anticipation and the excitement, and everyone is just like, oh, we're here. I feel like that goes on for 20 minutes for the first part of that whole ceremony, and then throughout the game.
I think you nailed it. Yeah. I think, I mean, it's special. It comes through the screen for sure. I have one for you on the Blue Jackets side of it. Obviously in the West, we saw Jared Bednar with Colorado and against Torts, and they were both here. Bednar was with Cleveland at that time, and Torts was here coaching the big boy club, but Jared ended up in Colorado. And then today we have this news of Trent Vogelhuber moving up to the bench with Rick Bowness. What do you like that move? What do you make of it?
I really love it. I think I think there is a time here we're going to see a lot of younger coaches. Spencer Carberry came into the Washington Capitals and did great things after being in the American Hockey League. I mean, Bowness is now truly a mentor, and you can see the transition happening. Right, he's going to be in a mentor role in a winning situation where he wants the culture to be better. I think Vogelhuber is such a good person, an appreciative coach. You hear the stories of how I love his motto to every player that comes up here, to a man. They want to be where their boots are. So, and his message is, no one wants to be in the American Hockey League, but you're here. So be here and do your best for yourself and the team while you're here. And I think that perspective will translate well into his role, whatever it is with the Blue Jackets. I think seeing Bednar go and do good things in Colorado was one of those things. You don't want to see anybody leave, especially a prospective head coach in your team, leave and have success at that. And there are teams that, that happens and they do a good job of it. But for the Blue Jackets, I love this move. It brings in a young player who's played in the organization, understands the organization to a T, has probably watched from afar and wondered why a lot of things happen. Now his voice is in the organization at the top level. It rewards him for his hard work. And it also puts him in a spot with the coaching staff and Rick Bowness and this organization to impact and learn.
I love it. I love the hire. I love the move. I see it similar to the way you do, buddy. Hopefully it pays some big dividends. Great chatting with you. It's been way too long. Let's do it again once we get into the Stanley Cup, buddy.
Anytime. Great talking to you, Bo. Have a great day, buddy. Thank you.
All right, you too, pal. There he goes. A little bit of Shelley time on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Get your officially endorsed in 3 things on a First Friday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. AmazonBusiness.com.
We've all been there. You come home after a long day only to find water dripping from the ceiling. Your roof has decided it's had enough. And now frustration sets in. Another unexpected problem added to your never-ending to-do list. At Newman Roofing, we get it. That's why we make the process simple and stress-free, handling every detail with professionalism, so you don't have to worry and can get back to the things that matter most to you. So, how do you begin? Step 1. Schedule your free estimate by calling our office at 614-NEW-ROOF or visiting our website, newmanroofing.com. Step 2. Meet with one of our trusted representatives who will guide you through the best plan for your home. Step 3. We get to work, and you watch your roof transform before your very eyes. Whether it's your roof, gutters, or siding, the Newman Roofing team is here to guide and support you every step of the way. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF to schedule your free estimate and experience the Newman Roofing difference. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org.
Hey Columbus, what if you could buy a new Ford at the exact price of Ford employee pays? No markup, no haggling, just straight employee pricing for everybody. Right now, Capital Ford of Columbus, get that deal on almost every new F-150, Super Duty, Explorer, Mustang, and more. That's thousands in savings on Capital Ford's best-selling trucks and SUVs. This deal will expire soon. Come to Capital Ford of Columbus today and drive home happy with employee pricing. Visit CapitalFordofColumbus.com today, where we are priced for you.
Common Man and Timmy here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Oh, Timmy, it's getting closer.
What is?
The grand opening of the new Hollywood Casino Columbus Hotel.
Oh, that's right. The grand opening celebration is coming up on June 12th. Brett Michaels will be there.
And there's going to be fireworks and food trucks and swag and a chance to win a motorcycle.
Motorcycle shit. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Plus, on select Wednesdays and Saturdays, it's the $1,000 Win Your Way drawings.
Must be 21 to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Spring cleaning is when homes get a new twinkle in their eye,
a new spring in their step,
a new color in their cheeks.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
When that shiny truck from 1-800-GOT-JUNK arrives at your house,
it's a sign of a new beginning,
a clean start,
a breath of fresh air.
When your home feels clean and happy,
the people inside feel clean and happy too.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit us at 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Rothman and Ice are broadcasting live from the Memorial Pro-Am, and they'll be talking to very famous athletes and actors. And did you know that it's sponsored by the Waterworks and Ohio for Responsible Gambling? It is. Catch it all Wednesday, June 3rd at noon.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, would you be in favor of a Big Ten SEC breakaway from the NCAA? 67% of respondents say no.
Do you think that number is just that human nature is not to like change?
There's part of, I think that's the strongest sentiment. When they see that we're just going to do our own thing. Like, I don't want to do that.
I just think, especially as I get older, like, I don't like change much. And I even see it with younger generations. Like, you get to a certain age and you just get used to things. Whether they're right or wrong is almost irrelevant. It's what you're used to. And so you just want to continue doing those same things. So that's my hunch on that. I don't know that the NCAA's approval rating would be such that it would warrant a 67% approval on something like that. The crazy thing is, if they ever pooled their resources, they'd really be onto something. You could exponentially, if you pooled television bids, you could do it like the NFL, and your numbers would be much more similar to the NFL from a numbers perspective. All right, it is a First Friday. Hit it, boys.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed, because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
All right, this is a little bit of a stretch here, but I'm going to call this an officially endorsed behavior. So I went into my local liquor store last week, no names please, and just needed to restock some things. Was picking up some gifts for some folks and needed to restock, and had a bunch of stuff at the counter. And I said, hey, you got anything special back there? And the nice lady behind the counter said, yeah, we have some Weller Red, and we've got some other stuff in there. And she goes, oh, we got Blanton's. And I go, you got Blanton's? I said, yeah, I haven't bought Blanton's like from a liquor store in probably 8 years because it's been always allocated, always put in some sort of lottery. I've never even seen it on shelves in forever. So she goes, yeah, it was allocated. Nobody ever picked it up. And she goes, you want it? Yeah, I do want it. And so the price on it, I think, was $81. It used to be $50. And as I've said before, Blanton's is the reason that I first got into bourbon 20-some years ago was because of Blanton's. A buddy of mine put me onto it. So that behavior is officially endorsed, and I suppose in conjunction with it, Blanton's is officially endorsed. Always my first love in the bourbon world. Not my favorite anymore, but certainly a top tenor, and the reason that I got into all of this and became interested in it to begin with. So that is your officially endorsed on this fine First Friday. Time for three things.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number one for me, as the loyal listeners know, I lament the drop-off line for the two old kids over and over and over again at the middle school. It's a pain in the neck. So 3 days left of it, but yesterday we're on the way to school, and I'm following a car that says student driver. Be patient, student driver. Okay. So in order to enter the middle school, you first have to make a left off of a main road across traffic to go left. My guy in the student driver is stopped. There is not a car coming in the opposite direction for a block and a half. Testing my patience. Testing my patience. Testing my patience. Buddy, please tell me you're turning. Please tell me you're not waiting for that car. I know you're a student driver. Blinkers on, 2 and 10, make the turn. Tons of time. Tons of time. Does not make the turn. I say what I would consider to be a minor expletive. He finally makes the turn, then decides to drive on the wrong side of the road to go around a parked car while traffic is oncoming, then almost hits a car turning into the student drop-off. NBC with the following line, I quoted it. Dad, student drivers aren't built for this. I said, you're right, son. They're not. You want to know the hardest driving test in the world? It's not a freeway. It's student drop-off at a middle school. That's the hardest thing. If you can navigate that, you can drive anywhere.
Yeah, it does feel, and I guess I'll make this my first thing, that the hardest part are parking lots for anybody driving.
Oh.
Anywhere, at any time. Are you going to make all of your kids do driver's ed in some form or fashion?
Yeah, and I'm going to teach it. I'm going to go teach it. I'm going to teach them how I learned. And they've already driven a little bit. Like I put them. I was driving semi trucks full of grain by the time I was Beamsy's age. Like age 12 down the freeway going 80.
Is there the same desire? I remember I couldn't wait to get my temp. I couldn't wait to get my license. Is there that same desire?
No, because it doesn't really change anything. Like for us, it didn't change anything. I was driving cars when I was 10, 8, 9 years old. I was driving cars on the Ponderosa.
So my first thing, we were talking about the McDonald's Coke earlier, and Dogfather on the YouTube chat, I don't know if this is true or not, but he says that it is not crack cocaine that actually makes the Coke so good. He says it's because McDonald's Coke syrup comes in steel containers and is stored at 38 degrees. And all of the other fast food restaurants get their container of syrup in a plastic container. So he says it's the steel. Then I remembered I have friends in Florida that own 2 McDonald's franchises. I'm like, why have I never asked them this question before? So the question is asked. Hopefully we will get an update tomorrow on this.
And by the way, they could probably sell you one of those containers of steel, and then you could have it at Shea Bake.
It's perfect.
Are those state secrets, though?
Probably.
No.
Like they signed an NDA upon
all secrets
taking over the franchise?
Number 2 for me. So our annual morning ritual is I take the kids to school, I come back, we let Buddy out, I feed him, and then I walk him. So what I've started doing here in the last couple weeks is, because we have chipmunks by what I would say a conservative count is by the billions. And so these are on his property. So now I'm giving him pep talks. So we get him there. I hold him by his chest. You ready, dude? You ready? ready to go get these guys? This is your domain. This is your land. How dare they set their grubby little paws on your land? You guys, he's no different than a 10-year-old kid. He gets so jacked up, he's bouncing, he's on his toes, he's ready to hit like in the Oklahoma drill, and it's Brian Bosworth. It's a thing of beauty. Then he does a full patrol, full sprint, never's going to catch one, but God, it's fun watching him try.
So Odie's going to be 7 tomorrow, and he does not do pep talks. Doesn't care. When he was younger, he would try to chase squirrels, and then he realized he couldn't, and since it does nothing for him. Squirrels, rabbits, anything. They'll go right across his nose, and they'll come within inches of him, and he won't even...
Doesn't care
at all.
I don't want... I love the Odes, but man, I love the chase. Love the chase.
It sounds like some of our listening audience is under tornado warnings right now, so be safe.
Be careful,
grab
folks.
your battery radio and head to the basement and listen to Rothman and Ice. They'll get you through it. They've got Adam Schefter at 12:30 and Ian Fitzsimmons at 2:30.
Be safe out there. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We are back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain.